mate. You don't worry about that. Shove them all in there, why don't you? Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning from wherever you are, and welcome to our Friday podcast. The world's gone insane. Let's talk about it. We've got a full-ish docket, and as I have Mr. Hosea here with us, as well as the usual duo, we're going to start with gaming, and but before we do that,
Yes.
why don't we warm our butt cheeks up with how's everyone's week been? Let's start with you, Hosea.
It's been hot as hell, man. For summer coming to an end, it's still like in the 90s up here.
Bloody hell!
Mm-hmm.
Where's the snow? It's usually snowing in Colorado, isn't it?
In the mountains.
Just in the mountains, not where you are.
No.
Damn. All right.
I've been to Blackhawk, though. If you ever want to go up there for gambling, yeah, you'll see snow in August.
All right. Nice. Gaz.
It's been alright. I had a couple of job interviews. Hopefully, some of them turned out alright. So,
Oh, fingers crossed. Yeah, fingers crossed you get something. Zamo.
Well, I haven't been working as much this week, but I've been coughing my fucking lungs out. And just when I think my cough is over, I take an afternoon nap today, and I wake up and I start coughing my fucking lungs out again.
Dude,
So I
what
think,
you
what
do?
the fuck?
You sure you ain't got COVID?
Yeah. Get yourself
No, I haven't got
checked out.
COVID. I haven't got COVID, but I can smell and taste my food and shit like that.
Mm.
You know, I don't feel weak or anything like that. I'm just coughing. I mean, I was a bit earlier on, but I've got a lot more energy now. You know, I'm still able to do a little bit of exercise and shit like that, which I try to do every morning. Yeah, but I don't know what it is, man. This cough just won't go, man. It's persistent. But yeah,
See a
that's been.
doctor. See a doctor if it gets any worse. Man. Keep us posted
There you
on
go.
that. Yeah, keep us
I mean, like
posted
the
on that.
Sounds
last
like
couple
that
of days.
stupid cough that I had for ages that just wouldn't go away.
Mm.
Yeah, and like last couple of days, I've been hosting some streams, and my voice is getting croakier and croakier as we went along. You know, so, but you know, it's how it is. I always said August is the month I get sick. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you
true.
just
You
know
have
it.
always said that. Mine's
Yep.
normally
Yeah.
October.
Yep.
So yours is
October for
August.
me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. But this year, though, because the weather's been all over the fucking place, I've been getting ill more often. Because the temperature goes up, down, up, down, up, down. And my body's like, what's going on? Are we hot? Are we cold? Are we hot? Are we cold? And it's like, oh, now we've got a cold.
Yeah, we go
But
through
we're
that
not hot
same
with a
shit
cold.
where it could be 75 in October, and that's happened in the last like 5 years. It's been October and it's 75 degrees, and then out of nowhere, bam, fuck you, it's going to be 42 tomorrow. Now deal with it.
Yeah, that's just that. It's just really fucking annoying how it goes. Yeah, my week's been all right. Just nothing special. Uneventful. Just unclogging some drains today, which is the usual train that keeps clogging up every fucking time because my dad's poor design and not listening to his kids changing the drains
Mm.
when he had the chance. So I just sat there with my fist right up a drain today. So good fucking times. All right. Well, with that being said, let's go into it. So the Mortal Kombat 1 beta cuck has dropped. I don't, Mortal Kombat again for me is one of those games where I just like watching the cutscenes. Nothing against the game itself.
yeah.
But I eventually get it when the price goes down and they pump in all the characters and all that. So I never get it off the bat. But our friend Jose has been playing the beta cuck. So
It's fucking awesome, man. Like, yeah, like, okay, Liu Kang is a badass, and Johnny Cage has the best fatality in the entire fucking game so far. Like, what he'll do is he'll take a guy and take his phone out, and he's like, "Walk with me, talk with me. We're gonna put you in like the Hollywood Walk of Fame." And he takes the guy and fucking plants his face and his star in the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And it is just fucking epic. Yeah, it's like you get to fight as like Liu Kang, Kenshi, this new character named Li Mei, and Sub-Zero, and Katana, and it's an awesome game, man. If you love Mortal Kombat, I know I usually don't hype up pre-orders, but it was worth pre-ordering for the beta. And I think Mortal Kombat 1, I'm going to go ahead and call it now. It's going to be a fighting game of the year because unless Tekken 8 comes out in the next couple months and Dragon Ball Budokai Tenkaichi doesn't come out in the next couple months, MK's got it easily in the bag.
No, it won't be game of the year.
It'll be fighting
game of the year. Yeah,
it'll be fighting game of the year. Yeah,
fighting game of the year. Oh, it certainly ain't going to be AEW Fight Forever. That's for sure. What a
hell no! That game. It started off. Did it ever really get hyped? I don't think it did because I have it and I'm like, what the fuck? It's just it's all right.
Yeah, it's fizzled out. I mean, they tried to hype it up where you could just throw things at them and blow shit up, but I played it, and within a couple of days, I was bored out my fucking head.
Yeah,
I just, it was all fiddly and all over the place. Vance is right though. There can be only one game of the year, and that's going to be Viewfinder by a country mile. I don't know what other games you people are thinking of, but it's going to be that small little independent game called Viewfinder.
What about Baldur's Gate 3?
No.
Baldur's Gate 3. That I've heard is going to be like, dude, it is fucking D&D come to life.
That game's fizzled out. Stop putting this fucking stupid thing. Leave it alone. My job,
sorry.
goddammit.
Right, so
Fine.
I was going to say, what kind of specs do you need for Viewfinder? Because I'm thinking about buying it.
Nah, nothing high end at all. It can run basic. It's fine. Like if you've got like a i5 with a 4 gig of RAM.
God, I miss having Windows.
Yeah, with a Ryzen, yeah, it should be fine. Yeah, just double check your specs on Steam. But if you have any problems, if you're getting it on Steam, you can always get a refund within the first couple of hours anyway.
God, I miss having Windows because I used to have Windows and Steam on that was the best, and then I.
Well, you got the Mac Attack.
Yep, I got the Mac Attack. It's good for emulation, which is probably the only positive I can give it. But beyond that, that's about it.
Yeah, I can't do a Mac. Yeah. No, Baldur's Gate 3, obviously, that's going to be game of the year.
Mm-hmm.
But there's always the fears of Tears of the Kingdom hanging over it as well, which it deserves it. But I'd rather it didn't get it because fuck Nintendo.
Yeah,
they're shitty people, shitty company. They're arse backwards with everything. And they just don't deserve to win any awards, no matter how good their games are.
If it wasn't for Mario Wonder coming out, I wouldn't give a shit.
Go,
that's probably the only game I'm excited about is Mario Wonder from Nintendo. That's it.
Yeah, I mean they get like one game a year to get excited about, and that's about it with Nintendo.
Yep.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I fucking love Tears of the Kingdom. I'm not a Nintendo fanboy.
Right.
But I bought the Switch because I had vouchers and I got it really cheap at the time. I got it for like $170. It was about $130.
Okay.
I got it really fucking cheap with Marvel's Ultimate Alliance 3, which is a pile of shit. So I just thought, okay.
Yeah.
Here you go, Gary.
Okay.
I'm not sure what Ryzen I've got. It'll probably be on my computer. We'll check it after the stream.
You can right click and just check system.
Yeah, check your system out.
Yeah, you can check system. You'll be fine. And so there you go. So Mortal Kombat 1, so far so good. I think that game is gonna be awesome. I can't wait for all the cutscenes just to sit back.
Likewise.
Yeah.
You know it's not gonna be awesome? Modern Warfare 2.5.
No, that's not. We'll get into that in a second. But with Mortal Kombat 1, I am worried like what they're gonna be charging. Obviously, keep an eye out for what they charge for the fucking character packs and all this kind of shit.
It's 110 altogether. So I'm gonna go ahead and say for the first one separately, if you don't buy it, it's around $40.
Well, MK1 on its own with no character packs.
Yeah, for MK1 it's $70, but for the character pass, the first one, it's probably going to run you about $30-$40.
That's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah,
that's the thing with fighting games. Though fighting games like Street Fighter 6 had a whole controversy with the Ninja Turtles. Like you need like 60-70 pounds just to get the Turtles skins, and it's just like that's why I don't fucking buy fighting games or beat 'em ups as we call them over here. I don't buy them straight away. I always wait until everything's just chucked into a package, and I'm like, why not?
Yeah, give it a year. Give it a year for Mortal Kombat. Let the 2 character passes come out. But the one thing I forgot to tell you guys, the cameo fighters do have fatalities, so they do have purpose. Like
that's good.
Kano's in the game, Frost is in the game, Sonya Blade is in the game, and Jax is in the game. And they're all cameo fighters.
If you want a good
Jax is a cameo fighter.
Yep.
battle. Oh yeah,
Okay.
Battle Bit. I've heard of Battle Bit.
BattleBits, yeah.
Well,
heard of that,
let me tell you what's bugging me a little bit with the DLC characters is that 3 of them are established Mortal Kombat characters.
Yeah.
So Omni-Man, Homelander, Peacemaker, fair enough. I'm totally cool with that. That's very unique. But there's nothing special about 3 established characters already. You could have just put them in the fucking game and no one would have batted an eyelid.
I agree.
So they needed to make those other 3 characters unique characters in any capacity, whatever you could think of.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
again, it's what they do. It's what they do.
Here's what I would have done. I would have had Will Smith and Chris Rock be 2 of those guest characters, and that would have been the greatest fucking thing ever. I would have been like, all right, we're gonna put Dwayne Johnson in there, we're gonna put Chris Rock, and we're gonna put Will Smith, and that's your DLC roster right there for the first pack.
MK won't be Game of the Year, just another MK. Again, you're not listening, you deaf cunt. We're saying it's not going to be Game of the Year.
I never said it was going to be Game of the Year. I said it was going to be Fighting Game of the Year. People don't listen to me.
No, they don't listen. They just hear key words and they blurt everything out.
Because has Tekken 8 gotten a release date yet?
No. That game hasn't fucking changed since Tekken 1. And I can't believe people get hyped for it. It's the same goddamn graphics. It's the same goddamn gameplay mechanics. It hasn't changed. Yeah, the first 3 were great.
Yeah.
But then after that, you're getting the same fucking game over and over again. It's just, at least with Mortal Kombat, they have a story that keeps you intrigued. I don't want to keep hearing about Takeshi Jackie, whatever his fucking name is, and his goddamn dad all the time. It's like, fuck off with that shit.
Well, what I would like maybe in some of the future Mortal Kombat games is maybe have another of the main roster or the newer roster be the focus character, because it was nice that Johnny Cage became the main character for once in some of the later games instead of Liu Kang. But it'd also be nice if somebody else, for instance, I don't know, I'm not just saying necessarily Sonya Blade, but maybe Kano. Somebody totally different being the focus character. Maybe going down the dark route, focusing on them and being,
quite huge. That sort of.
Maybe, but just somebody different, it always seems to be, Johnny Cage, he's an obvious choice as an alternative to Liu Kang, but it always seems to be these goody two-shoe characters. It would be nice maybe to follow a villain as the main character of the game.
Yeah, or if we're going to get a good guy. Or if we're going to get a good guy, I know people hate him, but how about Stryker? Stryker, I always thought Stryker was a real underrated fucking character.
I love Stryker.
Yeah, he's a jobber, isn't he? Isn't he the jobber of Mortal Kombat?
I thought it was
there to die.
I thought it was Mocap Man. Those people will not remember Mocap Man. Mocap Man was in the older games. He was in like 4 and 5. People don't remember Mocap Man.
I remember Mocap Man.
Yeah. But Stryker is like, he's like the fucking, he's what we'd always refer to as just like the jobber guy of Mortal Kombat,
Maybe Nightwolf.
I'd like to see Nightwolf. Maybe Cabal be like a focus character. Cabal would be kind of cool.
Cabal, he was a good guy turned bad guy, wasn't he?
Yep.
So
that
would be good.
Reptile.
How his face got burnt and all of that shit.
Yep.
Yeah,
because Mortal Kombat is probably one of my favorite game series, but even I think that just like the greedy flaming microtransaction shit that they've done recently has just been shitty for the series. Like, for example, putting flaming like the Terminator, RoboCop, flaming the Predator, all the flaming DLC characters.
Dude, they sell. They sell. That's the point. That's why they did that. They have to have big names.
Tickets that buy it.
People
are going to buy it. Then that's the problem. But yeah, that's why I don't buy them. I don't buy fighting games straight away. At all. I wait a good year or two. They got you can buy everything for like 20 quid, and you can get all the characters. I've done that with every Mortal Kombat game so far. I don't buy. It's the only fighting game I buy anyway. I don't buy like Street Fighter. I don't. I don't care.
Fighting games tend to be the only sort of games I like to watch. I'm not really a keen watcher of games,
Right.
but because I'm no good at these fighting games, and I get my ass handed to me on a silver platter, I'd rather watch these games and watch the professionals at work, and I admire it. And then obviously the cutscenes, whether it be this or Injustice or anything along those lines, which have fantastic storylines anyway. So
Right.
better than movies. A lot of these fucking things, you know.
Oh,
The best
yeah.
the best Mortal Kombat movies are the games.
Yeah.
Same with the best. Some of the best DC movies are the games.
Yeah.
You know, so
No.
Yeah.
The best DC movies of the game. Injustice was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Why
Justice
not?
is great. Yep.
Yeah.
It's just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Better than
We're
anything
still-
they've put out.
We're still waiting
cinema.
on 3. We're still waiting on 3. Damn it.
Yeah,
I look
damn
at
it.
Suicide Squad as maybe that number. No, Suicide Squad, not Injustice. Sorry, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's Mortal Kombat. Modern Warfare 2.0, 2.5 is they dropped a gameplay trailer which showed no fucking gameplay. So well done.
Yeah.
And it's literally just they've taken the DLC that was meant for Modern Warfare 2 and they've just put it into Modern Warfare 3.
And here's my moment. I fucking told you so. I told everybody. I'm like, I said this a week ago. I said, what did I say was going to happen? I said they were going to make a glorified DLC, charge you $70 to $100, and they're marketing that and promoting it as a new fucking game. And people are going to buy it.
Read the comments. People getting fucking hyped for it. And I'm sitting there replying to them, go, what are you getting hyped for? It's the same fucking game. There were people in a Facebook group getting hyped for it. And they were giving me shit for just telling them the truth.
Yep.
I was like, Modern Warfare 2 barely works. Warzone 2 is a pile of shit. It's just been forgotten about. And you lot are just, they've moved on to Modern Warfare. I said, the only thing that will get me hyped for Modern Warfare 3 is if they have Outbreak 2 in it. If there's no Outbreak 2, I'm not going to get it.
They did say that Outbreak is going to be back, so you probably will be playing it for that. But
good.
Even so, I'd wait for a
I'm
sale.
still waiting. No.
Yeah.
When it drops down to its usual 28 quid around March time, that's when I'll get it. I'm in no fucking rush. Because I'm just going to game with a friend and play Outbreak 2, and that's it. I don't give a shit about, unless if Outbreak 2 is good.
Oh, man, now someone's car alarm decides to go off. People are so stupid.
Oh, you're all right. We can't hear it, so don't worry.
Good.
Yeah.
No, I heard it.
I heard it a little bit.
Yeah, you might hear it.
Oh,
You might hear shit.
my headphone.
I just said, but I mean, the COD thing, the Modern Warfare thing, never been my thing. Sorry, just FPSs are just not my. And the cold COD thing, just like unless it's a really good one, like BioShock or a System Shock or something like that. So or
GoldenEye. Yeah.
If it's something unique where it's got a unique premise to it, cool.
The OG. GoldenEye.
GoldenEye, the greatest FPS, and I'll die on that hill too. I don't care what anyone says.
I mean,
I don't give a shit that it's
the controls don't stand up, but I understand where you're coming from.
Graphics don't
mate,
hold up
that
either, but it's
fucking-
still
that
fun.
That fucking game just took years of my life
Yep.
for all the right reasons.
And I don't know if y'all know, but like I know, like real ones know, sidestepping was better than actually fucking walking.
Yeah.
Yep. And
Yeah.
you had to fucking screen watch too. Like it was like, don't screen watch. You can't. You can't not. You can't not screen watch.
And it's amazing. You can play
Gosh.
4-player on a 32-inch fucking
TV.
oval
Yep.
shit. Like you're not even a flat screen, like
Mhm.
tube like and shit. Oh, and it's
Yep.
just great.
Those were the
It's
days,
just great.
man.
Yeah, man.
Bring back good
Yeah.
quality shit like that.
Yep.
What was we talking about before that?
Modern Warfare 2. Okay, so I'll give it some
Yeah.
positives. It is going to have all the maps from Modern Warfare 2, the original, and I'm like, okay, cool. I'll give you that. Good job. The campaign, I'm kind of interested in because they did use Don't Fear the Reaper, making it real ominous and shit, like somebody's going to die. So one of the main characters, if you're in the campaign, will probably go because the bad guy from the original Modern Warfare 2 fucked a lot of shit up for a lot of people. And I'm expecting No Russian to be the same controversial bullshit that we got like almost 15 years ago. So you know it's going to end up on CNN. You know it's going to end up on Fox News because you know they're going to go there with that shit. But that's about it. Even so, I'm hyped for it, but I'm not $70 hyped for it. I'll wait to get it for like $20 or so, which won't take me too long.
Yeah, that game's going to make fucking bank,
Mhm.
and it's just frustrating as hell. Diablo 4, don't know if anyone's been following that lately.
Oh,
That game is hemorrhaging players. Hemorrhaging
God.
players.
Yeah.
It all started off well, but as to be expected with Blizzard or Activision, because Blizzard doesn't exist anymore, it's just a name. They just fucked everyone over. They waited and they waited for all the reviews to come out. Then they dropped the update. They nerfed everything. And I told people this was going to fucking happen. I said it. I said, stop getting hyped for Diablo 4 because it's Activision Blizzard and something's going to happen. And it's every time. Yeah, hello. I said hello, Mr. System.
Hi,
And I
Mr.
was
System.
eating yogurt at the time. You know, I keep saying to people, stop fucking investing in Blizzard. Okay, just stop it. They do Overwatch 2. Look at that. They fucked that up. And like Dan was like a huge Overwatch fan. I haven't even seen him mention Overwatch 2.
Can't be bothered with it, man. Like, it just like it's had it's run its legs dry, so to speak. If that's the right sort of terminology, I'm done with it.
Yeah. It's,
here's a question. Do you think Diablo would have worked if they would have made it to where you could play fucking offline? No internet connection needed. Hello.
It would have been much more successful.
Yeah.
But having to need it online.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because the thing is that they should have seen the woods for the trees. Or what it is, because the thing is, live services and online gaming is dying because people want solo story-driven stories because they've had like what?
Gary, your mic is low.
Oh, sorry, mate.
Yeah, fix your mic.
How do I do that? Sorry, 1 second.
You could have. Let me see if I can do that here. Speak now.
Doesn't seem too bad.
1 2 1 2 1 2.
Yeah,
better for everyone.
Better.
Yeah,
You're better.
Yeah.
I'll try and bring it closer to my face. There you go. That help. But yeah, as I said, like people want a solo story because they've had really good ones. I mean, this year we've had the best ones we've had in the Viewfinder game that Penny was talking about. We've had
Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, Baldur's Gate. We'll have this new Spider-Man when that comes out.
Cannot wait for that. Cannot fucking wait.
I'm trying to think what other games we've had that kind of like just solo.
Tears of the Kingdom, Hogwarts Legacy.
Hogwarts Legacy.
I know it's tied to Turf Bitch, but I just take the game on a merit as it is. You know, we've had some fantastic single player story driven games.
If there's ever
we'll get to that later.
If there's ever a time to be a gamer, indie gaming is the way to go right now. That's what I'm telling people. I'm like, support indie games. Stop supporting these big companies. Go for the smaller guys. You could get these good games for like $15-$20. You can find you can start getting these games a lot cheaper too.
Yeah, exactly. Blizzard died the minute Activision bought them, Vance.
Yeah,
they died. That was it. They were dead in the water when Blizzard bought them. After that, they just weren't the same. The game was great.
I don't even hear about WoW anymore. Actually, you notice that? Like they never mention WoW. WoW never gets brought up.
No, it has a stable player base, but nobody talks about it anymore.
Yeah,
but I could never get into it. Right, the generation of MMO gamers has grown up and doesn't have time anymore. Now, what? Now it's all about
iPhone,
one and done phone gamers generate.
Yeah. Like I can remember when I was in my 20s and Angry Birds was the thing. I remember that. That was probably about one of the only games I got into for the iPhone.
Yeah. Well, I mean, younger gamers. I don't know. It's a different one to gauge because then you get Baldur's Gate 3 come in and everyone 850,000 concurrent players in week 2 or 3 still. Okay, it's smashing records and that, and I think people just craving something to fucking play that's good and isn't greedy and works. The key element there is the game fucking works. Which is rarely the case. Like everyone's sitting there talking about, another Cyberpunk update's coming. that game's really turn a corner, all of that. It's taken them like 3 fucking years to turn a corner.
Mhm.
That's ridiculous.
It hit its peak when it came out within the first month, and then after that, nobody was talking about it. At least
Yeah.
positively, anyway.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Bullhair Gate is fun to be far.
Yep.
I think you mean to
What
be
type of
fair.
game is that, by the way? I haven't even.
It's a
all I
point
know
and
is
It's
it-
an RPG.
Turn-based fighty RPG thingy. Like, it's not my type at all, but I'll sing that game's praises because it's a fucking it's non-micro transaction laden, it's chock full of content,
Yeah.
and it has so many different dialogue choices, and you can fuck a bear if you want in it and all this kind of shit. just for me, just the fact that you could do shit like that, and some of the
Makes it
innovation
worth
I've seen within the gameplay, despite it being point and click, is fantastic. So I will always sing games like that praises, the same as I would all your like Dark Soul type games, which I don't like them, but
Mm-mm.
I always love seeing them be successful because they're a big fuck you to the big AAA companies
EA.
that EA, Take-Two, Activision, even fucking Bungie with Destiny 2, like they've gotten ridiculously greedy with their micros in it. So take your pick and it's all there. Hola Aguente Milele.
Oh, greetings from Argentina.
Oh,
Hello,
yeah.
my friend.
Racist. Yeah, turn-based D&D simulator, basically.
Okay, I'll wait for a sale on Baldur's Gate though, because the big thing for me, I don't like turn-based games. I
No.
made the exception with South Park because I like South Park. I'm like, all right, cool, it's South Park. I'll give it a shot. I like it for what it is because it's funny. But yeah, with Baldur's Gate, I'm gonna wait till Black Friday, then I'll buy it.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean,
Yep.
with me, the only exception I made to turn-based games was Pokemon on
Yeah.
Game Boy, but that game was fucking awesome.
I
Pokemon.
mean, XCOM for me, dude. XCOM.
Yeah.
I love that game. I love
XCOM was great.
XCOM was great, man.
Pokemon
And
Yellow.
actually,
For
the-
me.
But I mean,
the
I
Gears
can
of War version of XCOM, by the way, on what's it called? On that PC version of Xbox, what's it called again?
What? Steam Deck.
No. Like, oh god, it's got an Xbox symbol on it. But the point is, I got it. I've been playing it a little bit. It's good fun, you know. It is exactly like, but you instead of like 2 turns, you got like possibly 2.5. You got like 2.5, maybe 3 turns, depending on how much you move and all of these sort of things. You've got like the familiar things like Overwatch and stuff like that. But yeah, it's good. It's Gears of War as well, so it's fun to play.
Ah,
So yeah.
I see.
So,
Nice.
yep.
But yes.
I mean, I could really upset our Argentina friend, but I won't do it.
Yeah, don't do it.
Yes, don't do it.
We've already got
Um,
people pissed off enough at us as it is because we said we're not going to like Modern Warfare that much.
Triggered.
Mhm.
God damn it! What else was I going to talk about in gaming? Never mind. It's gone. Never mind.
You'll get it. It'll come back to you.
I'll get it. It'll come back. All right. Let's move on to film and TV. Just quickly. Oh, let me get it. Let me get it up. There was a trailer for a new upcoming animation called House of Lee, which is an animated show to do with Bruce Lee, and it's done by I think his granddaughter or whatever. So let me just play the trailer. Hopefully we don't get copyrighted.
If there's any
We took
music
over,
in
it
it,
should be fine.
yeah, as long as there's no music, you'll be all right.
Nah, we should be all right. Okay.
So
where
it's
is it?
made by Bruce Lee's granddaughter.
I think so, yeah. Can everyone see that?
Yes.
yeah. Oh wow.
Okay.
House of Lee. Looks
Okay.
good.
I'll give it a chance. I'll give it
Oh,
a
yeah,
chance.
maybe.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I want to say that I've been watching some. I started something today that I'm already regretting, and I don't know if I'm capable of watching the next 9 episodes.
What's
It's
that?
called Mech Cadets. It's on Netflix.
Mhm.
Is it an anime?
It's animation, and
It is.
it looks like a cross between anime and shell shading and all that sort of shit.
Uh-huh.
You know, one of those sort of unique styles of animation. You know,
Yeah.
a bit like League of Legends and stuff like that. Unlike League of Legends, though, this I think this is a Korean animation, by the way.
Oh, okay.
From little things I've been getting here and there, and I just want to quickly go on a tangent here that a lot of people, including myself, at one point was brown nosing anything and everything that was Korean because it seemed that they could do nothing wrong. But I have to say, as somebody who's watched a few bits of Korean stuff here and there, they have a lot, and I do mean a lot, of
God damn
fucking
right.
of terrible shit. Not everything that comes out of Korea is good. A lot of their stuff is fucking crap. Really fucking
But
crap.
is it the Netflix produced stuff though?
Well, Squid Games was Netflix produced, and that was awesome. This is Netflix, and this is so far the first episode's a bit rubbish. It's a bit like Transformers meets mechs. You know, like the mechs you get into, like one of these sort of like robots from like these robots from space come down to Earth, and they are saving Earth from these other alien invaders, and like human
So it's
beings
Transformers, basically.
yeah, but these human beings, they kind of like they bond with these mechs and they join forces with them and stuff like
So
that.
like
And
Centurions.
there's one, yeah, well, yeah, and
Pacific Rim kind of thing as well.
there's one kid who is kind of an outcast who's never good enough to be part of the volunteers to be involved in this setup. Ends up being chosen by one of these alien robots, and
Oh, yeah.
this alien
It's
robot's got
very
it's got-
generic
it's got-
sounding.
it's got this bumblebee vibe about it. This one particular robot and all of that, and
Sounds as if
Yeah.
sounds as if
Mate, they do that
Americanized
with-
it.
Yeah,
it is Americanized, but it's also Korean at the same time.
Every
Yeah.
Japanese and Korean animation always has that same fucking trope. Outsider that's accepted
Yeah.
by another like outsider group and blah blah
Yeah.
fucking blah. It's always the same shit. Yeah, chosen one.
You are the chosen one, yeah, and all of that, and like it was more like this kid was kind of lucky, but he was outcasted, and he drives off, and then another alien robot decides to visit Earth, and it happens to land near him and chooses him so as the chosen one. You know, even though he's not really allowed to be a pilot of these alien robots, and it's just like look, it could be something could be generic and it can work. This did not feel like I was like already 2-3 minutes in, and I was like, okay, I'm regretting everything I started with this show. I'm already regretting everything.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
just
mean-
don't-
Netflix
Just don't
can't
finish
get
it.
a lot right these days. Yeah, don't watch it. Why do you
Yeah,
have to
don't
watch
watch
it?
yeah.
I'm actually
I just watched the first episode.
I'm watching
So?
my dad the Bounty Hunter, and actually I enjoyed that first, actually.
What the fuck is that?
So basically, it's an animation. So like basically, this little kid's got a dad who's basically a bounty hunter. Basically, it's like, yeah, it's actually pretty decent, actually.
Oh, I've heard of that. Now I know what you mean. Yeah, it's the like black centric.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Netflix-
Yeah.
Netflix as a whole just isn't what it once was, though, because I remember back in the days when you used to pay $10, you got a fucking insane amount of quality, and now with everything going to Netflix and being produced by Netflix is thinking, well, okay, fuck, we already got the money, we can put out whatever crap we want because these idiots will sell to us anyway.
Yeah, I mean it's the ticking time bomb we all saw coming when you get bad producers and you don't give a shit about the writers and you just want to churn something out, and the writers you get in are cheap and cheerful and not very good at their fucking job. And this is what's happened. This was the ticking time bomb, and we saw it coming. People that knew about it said it, and here we are. This is why the last 5-6 years has just been like hit and miss. I mean, the absolute epitome of this is the Witcher series. The producers are quite possibly have managed to put themselves at the top of the list as the absolute dumbest fucks on the planet that keep digging themselves a bigger grave, because they are so typical of executives in Hollywood, where they won't accept the fact that they are the reason the product is shit.
Mm-hmm.
And so you see this across the board. So many shows like it's very rare you get great little gems. And
you
all
also
that.
have to add in too with the amount of everything. We get too much shit. There's too much of it. It's like we can't digest as much as we did when we were younger. It's like, okay, back then you could watch all these shows and you were like, oh man, this is all awesome. And now it's just like, man, this shit's hard to get through.
Yeah.
Depending on what you're looking for, though, that is.
Yeah, I mean, like I said,
sorry, just responding
no,
to
go on, Zam.
Gemini, just saying, yeah. By the way, Zam, aliens are real. Yeah, I know that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Zam gets probed by them every day. What's your point? You know, what I mean?
Yeah, and I enjoy and I enjoy the probing. You know,
exactly.
Yeah,
I love it.
You're not treading on new ground. You're not special, Gemini. Accept it, mate.
He likes it more than Cartman.
You and your aliens. Yeah, it's
More than
Gemini in an alien suit prodding you, Zam.
Was it Cartman or Butters? No, Butters got probed somewhere else.
Cartman got probed all the time. Yeah.
Literally an episode called Cartman Gets an Anal Probe.
Yep.
Yeah, but yeah, like I said, a lot of the stuff you've got coming out is often just, again, it's like you think, oh, this could be good, and you're watching like, oh my god, it's so generic, it's so bland, it's just so like for films this year, it's been absolute shit. My top 10 list of worst films is already filled out, and it was only July at the time. So
do you see that you could easily make a top 20?
I could easily make a top 20 of bad films.
The only thing I can say this year was Dahmer this year, or was that last year? Because Dahmer was probably the last year. Okay, because that's probably the only thing I've watched on Netflix where I was riveted and I could not fucking stop watching it. Like I was like, it's that good, and I'm like, why can't Netflix do this type of shit more often?
But that's Netflix.
Dahmer was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, and what annoys me is like that's Netflix's strong point, and Mindhunter was one of their best fucking shows, and sadly, okay, that's not really Netflix pulling the plug on that. It was more, is it David Fincher who produced it? Or
it was,
yeah, David Fincher. It was more him going off to wanting to do other things because it was just taking too much of his time, and I'm gutted because Mindhunter was one of their best bloody shows. I said I never said I was special, but I am royal, like super distant. But yeah, all right. Give me some of that royal money, then, bitch. Make a donation, you know.
I watched a movie on Netflix called Hidden Target. I mean, this should be a home run. We got John Cena and Jackie fucking Chan. You know what I mean, how can this from the start? How could this go wrong?
I see that film actually.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, you know. Reality is, I kind of felt this was going to be a shit movie before I even started watching it.
I've seen it.
Writing.
Yeah, and it was a shit movie, but
it's not the worst film of the year, but it's up there.
I think for me, that's the worst film I've seen this year. In my opinion, it's bad.
It's number 5 for me.
Wow, you've seen a lot of shit then. But like for a start, like Jackie Chan being 69 years old, you know that he's no longer doing all these crazy action scenes and stunt works and martial arts and stuff like that. He just, even though he still seems to have the flexibility, you know, he's just not there anymore. Like his best years are way behind him. And I've always said this about Jackie Chan. The guy can act. For fuck's sake, Jackie Chan, you should have had a filmography where you didn't throw a single goddamn punch or kick. You should have had a few movies under your belt where you were just doing acting, because that's
look. Have you seen? You remember him? Okay, I know he does a bunch of kick arsery in it, but the Foreigner.
Yeah, exactly.
Great film.
No, the Foreigner is a great film, but it's still Jackie Chan being Jackie Chan in certain sense. But he wasn't going down the comedy route like he usually did.
The first 2 Rush Hours were great. The first couple Rush Hours.
But they're still action films. I want him.
Sorry.
No, but the point is, would he be trying to?
Yeah, I will fight you. I will come down there.
Whether it be Chinese dramatization or American, whatever, the guy should have just done a handful of films where he was just showing his acting chops. And at 69 now, I'm not sure if he still if he realizes that he could, So
no, it's done now. He's in that area where he just needs to be doing action all the time now.
Yep.
Because nobody's gonna watch Jackie Chan just being a serious actor. It's done. He should
Yeah,
have capitalized on it 20 years ago, and he
Yep.
didn't. And he didn't, and I hate it because the thing that frustrates me with Jackie Chan is that he complained about Hollywood, but he kept fucking going back.
Yep.
He kept going back, and he's never made a good fucking film in the US. I know people like Rush Hour, but I fucking hate those films. They're an insult to Jackie Chan and what he did in the Chinese market. And it was just more about, hey, let's see what fucking Chris Tucker could do. Is like, I'll kill this fucking guy.
They
man.
could have made
Jesus
a movie
Christ.
with Jackie. They could have just made a movie of Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker sitting there talking shit for 3 hours, and that would have been more riveting, I think. Just the two of them just talking shit.
Cut my balls off, then have to deal with Chris Tucker. That's what it is. You like the money.
I look back at his filmography and I think to myself, you know what? The reality is Jackie Chan movies were really only good in the 80s and the very early 90s. Yeah. After that, he some of his stuff was just so fucking stupid and brain dead.
Yeah. You know, after Rumble in the Bronx, it all just went downhill.
That was the peak.
Yeah, but like the Police Story movies and stuff like that, and the first couple of Armor of Gods and all of that, they were really good. Some of his, even his 70s stuff was pretty good. Project A and all of that, those were good stuff. And after a while, he just went so insane with the comedy, just so insane, that he ended up, like the martial arts kind of got lost in the mix a little bit when that's what people really wanted to see from him. The stunts and the martial arts, all the good stuff was in the 80s and early 90s. Like Police Story 1, I mean, amazing.
Fucking
I mean,
the first three were great. Yeah, then he went back with the fourth. I think the fourth one was done in the 2000s, and it was bloody
Super
shit.
Cop and all that shit.
Yeah.
And then he did things like City Hunter and all of this bollocks. Like, what the hell are you doing, Jackie Chan? And Who Am I? And all this shit. Like, he just, like.
Who Am I weren't too bad. I didn't mind Who Am I. That was all right.
Man. Like, some good action scenes. Don't get me wrong, but the reality is that they weren't as engaging. I mean, you're just waiting for the next set piece.
That's the problem. Yeah, you're just waiting for the next set piece.
Yeah. So
and I think that's just what it was with Jackie Chan. Is just people just like, just get to the next stunt. We don't care. Yeah. And once people are like that, you've lost your audience. You've lost your audience. You've lost any kind of.
He's lost the hardcores basically.
It's not the. Hang on, I'm trying to find the word. You've lost your identity as a human being. You're just somebody who people just want. It's a bit like what happened with Charlie Chaplin. They didn't want to hear him in the talkies. They didn't give a shit about him talking. They just wanted the big stunt and the set pieces. They didn't give a shit. It's like that with a lot of people. That's it. Once you're like Rock, nobody wants to see the Rock do anything other than
he's done.
Stupid action.
Yeah. He's done.
But he wrote himself into a corner. His ego wrote himself into it. Tom Cruise his own career, but it doesn't have the same kind of franchise that Tom Cruise has. No, that's why he's gone back to bloody Fast and Furious.
Because this is what the fuck happens when you're in every fucking movie ever. It's like, okay, Rock, I love you, dude, but go the fuck away. You don't need to be in everything.
And you're written to never lose as well. So it's just like, well, then I know now that that's leaked. It's like, well, we know not to bother.
Yep. Because
we know same with Tom Cruise. I just don't know. I just don't fucking bother anymore.
Yep. And going back to The Foreigner, like how refreshing was that movie in Jackie Chan's filmography, where he showed his acting chops. He was a miserable old man.
Incredible.
He lost his entire family. The action in that was also, it was a lot more like down to earth. He wasn't trying to be like funnily flamboyant. It felt very serious. Had that Taken sort of style about it and everything. Loved it, and and then you watch Hidden Target and you think, oh, he's back to being a fucking idiot again. Like,
yeah.
Chaplin blacklisted because of party affiliate. Well, yeah, okay. Jackie, I want to put Jackie in the same boat as that.
He's still making movies, but it's not as frequent as he used to be.
Look, I do want to say that. Don't get me wrong. I want to say this as well because without that, Jackie Chan is still one of the greatest. He is the greatest stuntman actor of all time. Nobody will come close to him. Not even people like Tom Cruise will come close to him. But and he's right up there. Like I actually put him beyond Bruce Lee personally.
Mate, Bruce Lee was just a small flash in the pan. People need to fucking leave Bruce Lee in the past. I know I just posted the video, but what I mean is talking about his greatness. Or that he did a handful of films, but they've been way better people that than him.
He wasn't even
know?
in Game of Death. He was hardly in it. He was a
Well, he
fucking
was dead,
stand-in.
that's why.
Yeah, no, but he was in that one part where we influenced video games, where he's going up the levels and fighting different people, including
Yeah,
Kareem
yeah.
Abdul-Jabbar. Apart from that, he wasn't in. But the point is like, yeah, I think sometimes people make more of Bruce Lee than what he is. I love Enter the Dragon. That is the original Mortal Kombat movie.
Yeah.
You know, John Saxon is Johnny Cage. You watch that film again.
Yeah,
John
yeah,
Saxon
of course.
fucking-
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All of that sort of stuff. But yeah, other than that, I think I think people, because of the nostalgia of him and him like being like Elvis dying young and all of that sort of shit, people make more of it than what it is.
Yeah, exactly. But there's a bit, you got your Jet Lees, you got your fucking Jackie Chans, you got your bloody oh god, what's IP man guy? Donnie Yen.
Oh, Donnie Yen, Chow Yun Fat, all of these.
All them lot, you know what I mean? So there's been plenty that have surpassed Bruce Lee in terms of just
Michelle Yeoh, even, you know what I mean?
Michelle Yeoh, fucking hell, yeah.
Yeah. It's just
Yeah,
nostalgia
so-
when it comes to
It is.
Bruce
It's just
Lee.
a nostalgia
It's
thing and the aura. People get caught up in the aura of a person as well, and it's just like,
Yeah.
calm down. He was a good martial artist. Let's
Yeah.
just calm the fuck down.
It's like Tupac.
Yeah, like-
It's like Tupac with music. Like people are like, "Oh yeah, Tupac's the greatest of all time." I'm like, "Yeah, I like personally Eminem better than Tupac, but that's just me."
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
And you look back some of the sort of filming and editing and the fighting choreography of some of the Bruce Lee films. They haven't aged well. They haven't aged well at all. Like the way they put their cameraman about for these martial art films, it's just so bad, and the choreography is not as good as it should do. You know what I mean? So much more. There's more posing than there is actual martial arts. So yeah, you know what I mean?
yeah,
So,
exactly. Okay, let's move on to wrestling because I don't want to dwell too much.
no.
on that.
Sorry, no. Actually, one more thing I wanted to bring up regarding television series.
Yes.
I think Paramount Plus is doing a good job. Nearly every series I've watched on Paramount Plus, I've enjoyed. The Rabbit Hole, the entire Yellowstone sagas, including the prequels. They've been good. That Jeremy Renner, Mayor of Kingstown, fantastic. I've been watching a show called The Lioness. It's been all right, but it's still got some good cast members. And it's also written by Taylor Sheridan as well. He's
basically taken over Paramount Plus.
Yep.
No doubt, but at least he's still got there's some quality there. So if you're looking for a good TV series, I would recommend Paramount Plus. So far, it hasn't let me down.
Also, but with that, while you're on Paramount Plus, what the fuck has happened with Matt and Trey's deal? Like they had this whole big deal
Yeah,
to
where's the
make
next TV movie?
different films and all this kind of shit. Then it was just like, oh well, we're just gonna focus on South Park and all this. And then it's just nothing. Like
Yeah,
I'm sure South Park's coming in the next couple of months, but they haven't made anything else. They got paid like 100 and something million.
Yeah.
And they've just managed to swindle money from, which is good because fuck Viacom.
Well, screw you guys! I'm going home with
Yes,
them.
I'm going ahead.
So,
Well,
yeah,
I could tell you why with South Park, because out here in Colorado we have Casa Bonita, which is a restaurant. It's a real thing, and they put all their money into that. So that's why
Yeah.
South Park is not getting made right now at the moment.
now that's got nothing to do with Paramount. That's to do
Yeah.
with Matt and Trey.
Yeah,
So
Matt and Trey.
Matt and Trey don't pay for South Park. They just bought Casa Bonita because they love it as kids
Yep.
and all this kind of stuff. But 50 million they plumped into.
Yeah, and they
Casa
said
Bonita.
that we're and they
South
said
Park
that
money.
yeah, and they said that we're supposed to be getting it like I think they said like 6 or 8 TV movies. What the fuck? We're only like I think on 4, and I'm like, where's the next TV movie at? Because we're
Yeah.
still waiting.
Yeah, but also they haven't been received very very well, so maybe they've gone back to the drawing board. And I liked them for what they were,
I think, to be honest, the show hit its peak years ago, though. But that's just me.
Yeah,
South Park.
yeah, it's done. They need to end the show and just move on to make other stuff. They have the capacity. They could have been the absolute best. Like they could have been the Mel Brookses of this generation. Okay, they could have been the absolute best in comedy. And instead, they're just stuck with one show, and it's really frustrating. Like,
And I think I know how they want to end it. They don't want to end it. They want to be canceled. They want to piss everyone off. And it's like That's impossible to do that because guys like us, we could take the piss out of everything and still fucking find a way to laugh about it. And it's like, I don't know if you'll ever truly get South Park off the air the way they want to get it off the air.
Nah, it's just not going to happen because nobody from that ilk that would want to cancel it watch the show. Like they might cover something on Twitter and be like, ugh, but no. I just think they're just comfortable where they are, and I hate it. Hate it with a passion.
Here's how you end it. End it with Cartman crying like a little bitch. That's the way it goes out. Like Cartman has to cry like a little bitch, and Kyle laughs at him. That's how you end South Park. Like, ha ha, you fat fuck. That's it. That's all you got to do.
Well, okay then. Why not? All right. Moving on. Well, seeing as we've got Jason here, he'll be happy about this.
Yes.
Blue Beetle. Good reviews. People enjoying it.
I've heard that the reviews are favorable. I have heard a little bit that it's kind of your standard run of the mill basic superhero story, but like the family and the characters and are what kind of make it different and make it enjoyable. So I'm glad to hear that.
It sounds like basically the family aspect of it was the enjoyable part of it, but the rest of it was just generic shit.
Yeah. So Ginger, you were right about the fact that it's pretty generic looking.
You can tell from the trailer, dude, there's nothing. Yeah.
So I'm also do a live unboxing for you guys. So what Star Trek cards. So
God. Anyway, Jose, you were talking.
Yeah, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, DC didn't fuck it up. I'm shocked.
Yeah, well, you know, as people are just simpletons, so they're probably just like, yeah, it's like fuck off, man. You've seen it once, you've seen it a million fucking times. It's like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. Okay, the reviews are solid for it. It's like 90 something on Rotten Tomatoes. And I knew from the trailer, I was like, but how is this getting high ratings? It looks generic. So I watched it online, and it's just generic, boring shit. It's so boring. It's so fucking boring. You know, and I think I'm just personally sick and tired of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles being comedy. Like, I want to...
agree. Go ahead.
Yeah, go to your fucking darker roots. Stop being a comedy.
I do 100% agree with you on that. I mean, I haven't seen the new Turtles movie because I'm with Ginger. It's kind of like this whole cartoon. Like, I mean, the only one that actually tried to, it still had its comical moments, but it still tried to at least lean into its dark roots is the 2007 one or 2008 one or whatever it was.
Yeah.
The Patrick Stewart, that one.
That one was phenomenal. It bombed at the box office because it was an animated movie, and back then animated movies did not make money unless you were Disney. You know what I mean?
It's a cult classic, though. That's kind of what you're saying.
Yeah, it's the best Turtles movie, maybe with the exception of the first one
ever made.
Yeah.
By a fucking mile. It's awesome. Like, just the Leo and Raph's journey in that film, it's fucking beautiful in every sense of the word. It is the perfect storytelling, and yet, it flopped at the box office. And
so you didn't get the same old random origin stuff, and just like they basically they pick it up kind of. What is it? Not even a couple years, like a year or two after they started, and like
years later. It's quite a few years later. Shredder's dead. You know, he's not in it. They've got like a new enemy who wants to bring back his like warrior brothers and all this kind of stuff. And Leo's off in like the jungle doing his thing. Raph's his own vigilante. I think like Mikey's got a job and Donnie's just voyeur pervert.
The only thing they could do now to top themselves in comedy is do what SNL did: make the Old Man Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I'd watch that as a series. I would legit. I'd like to see Old Man Mutant Ninja Turtles actually become a thing. That would be actually kind of dope.
Yeah, I mean, you could have it with Old Man Logan and Old Man Hawkeye and all those other people. You could do it.
Yeah, they could do it.
You could do it. Yeah, why not?
Like, I gotta go out and mow the lawn today. You damn kids, rackle.
I used to kick your asses back in the day. Now, fuck, did my back just lifting the lawnmower.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, that 2007 movie, man. I was so mad when they announced the Michael Bay one movies because I was still holding out that, which I knew at that point it wouldn't happen because it would have been what 2013, like
Yeah.
when the new ones came out.
Yeah.
I was so mad when they did not make a sequel to that 2007 one. I was so pissed.
Yeah, and it did good money in the fucking DVD sales, so I was a bit annoyed we didn't get a follow up.
Did it leave room for a sequel?
I mean, it could have. I mean, they kind of wrapped the story up, but
Carried on, yeah.
it wasn't a cliffhanger. But at the same, I think there was like a mention of, was it Shredder? Like, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, I had to talk. Like, I have to talk. Like, the daughter was talking about. There's something about her father, Oroku Saki or whatever.
Yeah,
like there was some
yeah.
kind of little like nod to like a sequel. But
Yeah.
Okay.
they should have done the Rat King in the sequel, and they should have gone all in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like not make him like the stupid one from the 80s show. Like make him like dark and like from the
Yeah. Dark and kind of broody and gritty. Nice.
Fucking nerd. Star Trek. Guys, Snow White.
Yeah, the cast of that film keep on making it worse and worse for itself. Like, what's her name? Rachel Ziegler, is it? Who's played Snow White?
Yeah.
Was saying today that the story was created. The cartoon was back in the 1930s, and standards have changed since then. Dude, it's not based on a cartoon from the 1930s. It's based on a story that was much earlier than that from storytellers.
I got a question. Is this going to be live action? Kind of like how they did with Beauty and the Beast?
Yes.
Well,
Yes, it is.
You can't even call it a live action remake of the 1929 or 39 classic because, obviously times have changed and that they can't portray women as damsels and all of this. And obviously, somebody kissing somebody while they're passed out, not a good look for this kind of era and all this. But my point is, why bother? I mean, we had Snow White and the Huntsman, which was underrated film in my opinion.
I forgot about that one with Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, with Hemsworth and Kristen
it's-
Stewart, whatever her name is.
I think it's because of IP rights. So, like, if they don't make a film in a certain amount of time, you need to lose the right for it.
Is the mouse fucking public domain now? Meant to ask. Anybody know?
It is in
Next
2 years,
year?
I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause I know
1924 it will be public domain.
Yeah, because I know the copyright runs out, I think, like either this year or next year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for the Steamboat Mickey era, Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
That means
Oh,
we'll get
nice.
Steamboat. That means we'll get Steamboat Willie or what was
Steamboat
called.
Mickey. Okay.
Yeah, but we'll get that in like a horror film like we got with Flaming Moon.
I'll see. Yo,
Did you guys?
any updates on the Winnie the Pooh horror movie? Have they like said
Well, they made
anything
it.
about
Yeah,
that?
It's
they
been
did.
and gone,
They
mate.
made
It's
it
been and
go.
gone. Dropped it. It was
Yeah.
rubbish, and he left. Well, let's get back on Snow White, please.
Yep.
Guys.
No, but did you see that meme on Snow White where the Wicked Witch is saying who's the most prettiest of them all, and it shows you Snow White, but
Back it up a
compared to
little
the
bit.
Wicked
Back
Witch,
your card up a little bit. There you go.
Yeah, compared to the Wicked Witches, she's
the Wicked
not.
Witch, she's not that pretty at all. You know what I mean? I mean, the Wicked Witch is about people like Charlize Theron and Gal Gadot are the Wicked Witches, and then you're looking at the Snow Whites, and you think to yourself, how the hell are these women supposed to be prettier than fucking Charlize Theron and Gal fucking Gadot? You know what I mean? There's no chance. Yeah.
I want bang, not the fucking Snow White. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I mean,
Considering she's underage as well, so no, I definitely don't want to fucking finger bang Snow White. You can fuck off with that. I'll take the MILF any day of the week, or the Will, which I'd like to finger bang.
Yeah, but
Finger bang, baby.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's get back. Guys, go on. Sorry, because we keep
Right,
derailing the conversation.
Right,
Sorry.
but what I'm saying is that if you don't want to make Snow White, don't make it. Make something else. Because look, I'm all for changing aspects to be more progressive. I am, but the story is the story. You can't just go, "Oh, we know better than the storytellers." No, you don't.
Jason, move your cards back, dude. You keep getting them out of focus. There you go.
There you go.
I'm just showing them. Y'all don't stop for me. I'm just showing them because I know Daniel Vince will probably appreciate it.
Yeah, so
Don't interrupt on my cards account.
And the thing is that I'm going to make a prediction. This is going to flop really hard because everything they've done has pissed everybody off.
Ooh.
it's dead on arrival. I think the kind of the buzz with like even finally the fucking stupid SJWs are finally seeing through Disney's bollocks as well. They're just like, well, you know, your stuff is just you're pandering, but you're not making good product. So why should I waste my money?
Yeah.
And that's been my issue for ages. And people always clap back with a bunch of accusations on it. I'm like, okay, look, you're not a writer. You don't know shit about shit. So just fucking go and enjoy your generic pish if you want to. But the reality is that they're not creating anything new. It's the same old shit. Barbie fucking comes along and everyone's like, ooh, I want to go see that. Nobody wants to go see fucking Snow White again, you know. It's just ridiculous. And what am I gonna go see? You're gonna go see a Snow White that's probably gonna shit on the prince. It's gonna be fuck that shit anyway. But the dwarfs aren't even dwarfs, there's something else, and it's just like, what are you doing? This is a Snow White, and it's not a remake. Then it's just a reinterpretation of Snow White.
It's PC white. It's PC white now. That's what we're calling it now. It's PC white. Damn it.
Yeah,
it's Rod Seal. It looks good on the tin, but it papers over a lot of cracks. That's what it does.
I'm actually not. I'm actually part of this demographic that doesn't really care too much because something like Snow White is not for somebody like me anyway. I mean, something like Barbie can be for somebody like me because it's more adult orientated. But Snow White is going to be a kids' film, you know, and so
Barbie that's on Pornhub is what he
wants. The thing is,
I don't really care. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean, but the point is like you got a bunch of people running their mouths off, and the film isn't out yet, and it's just like I'm talking like the actors, for example, like Gaz says, and it's just like fucking calm down, stop shitting on the Grimm's fairy tale stuff, which Disney have butchered beyond comprehension, and that's where my fucking annoyance has always been with is that they were too cowardice to do the Grimm fairy tales any kind of justice whatsoever, and then anytime Hollywood tries to do the Grimm fairy tales properly, they make it a bunch of fucking stupid shit like Hansel and Gretel, whatever they tried there, you know, the witch hunt and crap and whatever they did.
The only one I've enjoyed thus far is the Beauty and the Beast remake. That was good.
Yeah.
I haven't watched that. I don't really care.
I have no idea about that.
Fair enough if you liked it.
Well, I mean, like you can make it inclusive and try to like say something with it without insulting the core of the story. Like, for example, you look at what's happening with Barbie at the moment. It's making bank. It has a progressive story. It has a progressive message in it, which is all about, you know, smashing the patriarchy.
No way, it's just a boring fucking story anyway. It is boring. It's just boring. You know,
do something interesting with that.
Yeah, they did Snow White and the Huntsman, which I thought was a great film. I enjoyed it for what it was. So there's really, there's just no fucking need to.
Going back to the well one too many times.
Exactly.
The actors in this are so stupid. Like Rachel Ziegler, who plays Snow White, said that the prince was a stalker. What the fuck?
She was one pining for him, and now he's a fucking stalker. It's just like, okay, you know, it's how it was back in those days, man. Get with the times, Rachel, or get behind the times, or whatever. Yeah.
I'm gonna get up the times.
Yeah, this film is dead on arrival. Arrival.
Yeah.
All right, Cash Wheeler has been arrested, and a week before he's due in London to.
You fucking idiot! Yeah, you.
Yeah.
How do you?
Did he punch somebody again?
No.
Brandishing a gun at something. Now, here's an interesting thing. So somebody who, I saw the news break in Cultaholic, and somebody in the comments writes, he works for a law firm in Florida. He's a lawyer in Florida, and he's saying that the case is really weird. That they're not being too open about it. So he's hinting that could be a domestic violence situation, maybe brandishing a gun at his wife or something.
Road rage. I'm reading about it on the.
Yeah, I'm reading about it now.
He allegedly flashed his gun at strangers during a road rage incident.
Okay, thank God it's not domestic violence. That's great.
I put it in private for you.
Either way, this is
thank
not
God
good.
it was a gun. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, not his penis. because then they get brandished as a pedophile, American slang.
No, I meant like, thank God it was a gun and not domestic violence or whatever. I mean,
Yeah. Thank God it was a gun and not domestic violence. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's
either-
all right.
But this is not good. This is not good either fucking way, because either AEW knew about it or they just found out about it as we all did. And either way, this fucks up the tag match now.
Oh, I'm devastated that the fucking
Yeah. Oh Lord, what are we gonna do?
the young fucks won't get their match. What's it? Marvel quietly confirmed Hollis is out the MCU Spider-Man.
Huh?
Talks with Maguire are happening. No, thank
What?
you.
I heard that somewhere, like either yesterday or something like that. And I wouldn't believe that, but I mean, if they are, I'm not on board. I do not want Maguire back as Spider-Man. He never was a good Spider-Man. That's the meme of Tom Holland, where it's like, Peter Quill's like, is Tobey Maguire still the best Spider-Man? And then Tom Holland goes, he never was.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
the
not,
Japanese
it's not
Spider-Man
coming up
is
as
better.
main news. Yeah, until it comes up as main news, I'm not going to believe it. Hey, Disney sheep herder or whatever your name is. Oh, it is Disney sheep.
Yeah, leave us a like as well, right before you go.
What did they do? Bring Flaming Andrew Garfield back?
I don't want them either. No,
I
I
don't
want
want him
Tom
either.
Holland. I love Tom Holland as Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I want his stuff. I want him and John Watts together. They make a great partnership. I don't want to fucking piss about with anything else.
You started with him, finish with him.
I want
Yeah.
Spider-Man. I want Spider-Man at 40 having back problems from all this web slinging and shit. Why can't we go there? Like, come on.
If they did do
because we
that,
don't
they
want
need
Tobey
to bring
Maguire.
Jake Johnson to do it. The guy that voiced Peter B. Parker in the film.
Yeah.
Into the Spider-Verse, he'd make a fantastic older Peter Parker.
Yeah, like, let's get older Peter Parker. Like, we've done young Peter Parker. Let's age him up a bit. Let's see him at 40 with kids and try to go save the world.
Tom Holland will be that eventually, so let's do it. Oh, let's do it naturally. So
We're complaining about the woke mafia destroying Tom Holland's career.
And they're complaining about me showing off my Star Trek cards.
Yeah,
They're out of focus, too. Fix it.
and Snow White not being white enough.
V'ger.
God damn it. There's no. I'm not accepting Tom. If Tom Holland's out, I don't give a shit about Spider-Man because I want to see. I want to see the continuation of his story. I fucking love that trilogy. It's my favorite. It's one of my favorite MCU trilogies.
Yep.
And I just want to. I want to see it carry on. I want to see a successful completion of 6 fucking Spider-Man films. All right, and stop Sony dicking about and Disney dicking about. Just give us Spider-Man. I don't fucking want random cunt that I don't care about getting their own film and fucking TV show. There we go. I had to get off my chest.
They're going to multiverse him, aren't they?
As we're talking about wrestling, let's talk about All In's card for Wembley.
Which is shit.
The word underwhelming is the word that I want to use for it.
But guys, this is a super card. Don't you understand that?
Yeah.
Is that you starting coke?
Yeah.
That's me snorting coke. Yeah. Yeah.
But the thing is, Jose, this is the problem that I'm going to have with it. I mean, you look at, for example, SummerSlam '92, where they had it at Wembley. Flaming, you look at how many wrestlers that created. I mean, like, you had Nigel McGuinness, Flaming, a lot of guys from the '90s who watched that thing live and became wrestlers because of it. You had like McGuinness, Flaming, trying to think who else in that, like Doug Williams, people like that, people who watched that and became wrestlers, and they're fucking it up. They're fucking up this opportunity they have to Flaming. Like, they could have like some really good matches. They could have Osprey, Omega 3. I know you guys are with that, but that was like match of the year quality for a lot of people.
And they're doing Osprey Jericho. Like, why the fuck do I care about Osprey Jericho?
Here's the deal. Are you surprised?
I'd rather watch Osprey versus Omega than Osprey Jericho.
Jericho needs to retire. I've been saying that for years. I'm like, dude, come on, man.
I'd love to see Jeff Jarrett versus, like, I don't know, I'm trying to think, like Jay Lethal or something. That would be a good match. But like Christian Cage versus like Wardlow or something. That'd be a good match. Because they had a pretty decent match.
Whatever. Yeah.
Yep.
The card they got, I don't even remember the card.
I don't even know what the card is.
All right, the card is the Aussie Open versus MJF and Adam Cole. So that's
Okay.
I don't know if this is starting at the main event or not, but
No, I thought
No,
the
that's like the pre-show.
MJF versus.
They did the Teddy.
Oh,
This
yeah,
is
yeah.
main
No,
event.
okay, hold on. It says here that there's a P by it. It says the match will be broadcast on the pre-show.
Okay,
Alright.
so it's to build toward the angle to the main event because
Alright,
they're going to
so-
be wrestling in the main event.
Yeah. So we've got Oh, sorry. I'm just looking at it myself. Sorry.
FTR
for-
versus the Young Bucks.
That ain't
Yeah,
happening.
That's not going to happen.
Is that one of the guys who got arrested? Or
Yeah.
something?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Gaz, have you got hang on. Have you got the card in front of you, Gaz?
Yes.
I do.
Yeah, all right. Let Gaz carry on because he knows the card better than
Okay.
you.
Well, I didn't know he had the
Me.
card up.
Shut up.
All right. So it's MJF versus Adam Cole for the AEW Championship. That'll be fine.
Okay.
FTR versus Young Bucks. That ain't happening now.
Nope.
Shida versus Saraya versus Britt Baker versus Tony Storm for the championship. That'll be a clusterfuck.
Shit about that.
The Golden Elite, Hammond Page, Kenny Omega, and Kota Ibushi versus Bullet Club Gold, Juice Robinson, Jay White, and Konosuke Takahita.
You say Jake
That
Roberts?
could either be really good or a complete car crash.
Chris Jericho versus Will Ospreay.
Crap.
The BCC. Sorry, BCC. So I've got it, which
No,
is John
The BBC.
Yeah, the BBC.
I've got
ITV.
I didn't know I was going to be there.
no, the Blackpool Combat Club versus Mystery Partners.
Oh
With
shit!
Eddie Kingston, Lucha Brothers, Orange Cassidy, and Best Friends in a Stadium Stampede. That'd be clusterfuck.
Garbage.
And then the Samoa Joe versus CM Punk, and then maybe it says maybe House of Black and the Acclaimed and
Why's it got to be black?
no, House of Black. And
Why is it going to be
Bullet
black?
Exactly.
Club. Right, yeah.
So
So
here's my question: what the fuck is with all these damn tag team matches? It's
Yeah,
like,
but
dude,
They want to have as many people on the card as
Yeah.
possible. That's what it is. You
ugh.
can't at least with WrestleMania a lot of times, at least back in the mid
Back in the day,
like
yeah.
at least what they would get, like that's why they did Money in the Bank, was because they could have a lot of their like high flying, but they could have like 8 people or 6 people or 10
Mm.
people in a match to like be at WrestleMania, because you know that's how you cram them all in there, and then you don't have to, and then everybody gets kind of like a place. Now they have like the Andre the Giant Battle Royale
Royal.
one, so that's another place for like 1 million people.
And they make it 2 days as well.
Yeah, and they
Those are
spread
better.
that shit out.
Well, I'm talking about back in the 2010s. Like that's when
Yeah.
I was watching. So that's how I see that. I mean, yeah, I mean it's kind of that's what this card screams. And you're right about all these tag matches because they want everybody wants a
Everybody on
piece
the
of the
card.
pie.
Yeah, and it's a good gate too because I know they grossed over $1 million.
Mate,
yeah.
they've outsold Wembley in 1992 now. There are 82,000
They've-
people.
yeah. They've topped, and I know tribalism is going to go crazy about that.
With the
People
card
are
that
excited.
with the card that shit, and they've managed to fucking sell that many. Well, they sold most of it before the card was even announced. So
Yeah,
if I'd have paid for a ticket now, seeing that card, I'd be like, oh fuck. Well, you know what? We're just gonna do the most British thing ever and just start chanting like it's all about us and fuck the wrestlers.
yeah.
Because that card is just shit. I'm expecting a battle royale to be thrown in there as well. By the way,
Yeah.
well, that's the Stadium Stampede.
huh?
That's a Stadium Stampede.
Oh, it is just a stadium stampede.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh,
That's what they call it.
Oh yeah.
So basically, that means that there'll be no wrestlers in the actual ring. It'll be people like when the stadium's empty,
In the stands and shit.
wrestling in the bleachers or wrestling in the famous stands.
Oh no,
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
go
yeah.
mad world with it. Oh fuck.
Yeah, yeah.
sake.
Oh, okay. So
I did.
basically,
I-
they're going to blow it up, bro.
Yeah,
Bro.
absolute garbage. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I did find it hilarious. Like I'm not gonna lie that the stadium stampede they did at the Florida Stadium, I was pissing myself laughing.
That was great with Chris Jericho fucking having the cone on his head.
Yeah, Chris Jericho the cone and Matt Jackson superplexing from one end of the fucking stadium to the other. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I was in fits of laughter, but at that point I just given up already on AEW. But I did enjoy it because it was so bad it's good.
Yeah, it's one of those like
When was
It's one of those like The Room where it's like you have to watch it because it's so bad, but it's so
Yeah.
funny.
See, we can thank COVID for some things now because they had to really bring out the creative juices from these wrestling shows in order to give us something kind of unique. I mean, I remember like Matt Hardy, like he'll come out the water and he'll change into a different version of himself.
Yep.
Over the years and stuff like that. And even within the WWE, they had that
That was-
fucking
That was
They had that match.
pre-COVID though. That was pre-COVID.
No,
That-
that was during COVID. That was during COVID. That's why it was the empty arena and stuff like that because it was. But they also had that. They also had that match at WWE, the WWE main center and stuff like that, where they had to all reach the one Otis one at the end and stuff like that. Fucking and
the White versus the Hardys match. Yeah, that was terrible.
but you also got like people like Rey Mysterio getting thrown off a building, but coming
And then
back.
he came back the very next night like, "Hey, motherfuckers!"
What the fuck? Yeah, I mean, it was just so stupid.
I'm just gonna say, if they fuck this up, there's no way they can come back for it. This might be a what's the word, an AEW killer. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
No, I personally think what will make this show work, regardless of how stupid it might be, is the fans, because the fans will carry. There's been matches in the past which ain't been all that, but the fans make it all that. Like Rock versus Hogan 1.
Yep.
It wasn't that special a match, but the fans were so into it. It made it special.
And you have to consider too, y'all UK fans, y'all are fucking rowdier than we are here in America. So
you lot aren't rowdy. You lot are quieter than a mouse.
No.
It's only
Yep.
the East Coast that's rowdy in America.
Yeah.
The rest of you are fucking quiet as anything. You know, the only time you get a rowdy crowd is when the foreigners are there for WrestleMania.
Yep.
Yeah. And you guys take it for granted, like we don't, so we appreciate it.
Yeah.
So we make every moment an event.
Yep.
So
that's going to be the one reason why All In is going to be good is because of the fans.
You better make sure those microphones are in among the crowd so you can proper get the fucking acoustics. Because there's nothing worse than an open stadium where they get the acoustics wrong and you can't hear the fucking crowd.
That's
why
like
I hate open stadiums.
Jose, you go to football matches in this country and the away fans, oh my god, like they make so much bloody noise for 90 minutes non-stop.
Yep.
You know, and a lot of these wrestling fans are football fans.
Yeah.
I mean, they know how to chant, they know how to do all of this shit. It's in their blood, it's in their nature.
Yep.
So it's always gonna be rowdy from the very beginning, for sure.
Because what I was going to say about stadiums is like, okay, that's why WrestleMania 17, you couldn't hear the crowd because the acoustics go up. You don't want the acoustics going up. You want them going this way.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
You don't want the acoustics
Well, the thing
going
is,
up.
the new Wembley has a closable roof, so they could probably maybe fix the acoustic problems.
Yeah, I'm hoping it rains, but it doesn't look like it is. But I'm hoping it rains that day so they can close the roof so we can get the acoustics.
Yep.
There.
I would never. After the WrestleManias that were outside, like those, I would never. I would never do. Even if we went into an open stadium, I'd be like, I want it closed. Like I want to hear that crowd going nuts. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
And plus, I mean, and as I said, if they mess this up, Vince McMahon's going to be laughing his ass off. It's like they had the golden opportunity to make themselves massive.
Oh, they'll be
It's already
all right.
a success. It's
Yeah,
already a
they'll be all
success,
right.
though. They're
No,
all
they'll
right.
be
They've
all right.
sold 82,000 tickets, so even if the show is crap, the crowd are going to make it one way
Dude,
or
Vince
another.
McMahon's looking at this card going, "Oh, that's a pretty good card. A bunch of white people in the main event." You know, like,
Black guy's sight. Oh my god!
If you're not Caucasian, leave the ring now.
Yeah. It's only one
Black
salon.
guy on my right
That's
there.
all right.
Big Eve likes to.
So yeah, it's going to be just fine.
Yeah, AEW will be all right. Y'all got nothing to worry about.
Yes. Speaking
I
of
think they'll be
insecure white people, everyone heard the stories of CM Punk kicking people off Collision
No.
and things like that. So, go on, Jose.
Well,
I'm the king.
I'm the guy who tarnishes legacy so much, like CM Punk.
I'm king shit around here, brother, and this is my TV show, and I'm gonna have all of you moved off to Dynamite. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, I mean, so that's pretty much it. So anyone that's even remotely trying to cause minuscule beef, even like on Twitter, and that CM Punk is just basically kicking them off Collision. So we had it with Namath, who is Ziggler's brother. He just was trying to create kayfabe drama on Twitter by calling CM Punk soft, and CM Punk just stormed in and just kicked him off the show, basically. He's also he won't have Christopher Daniels on there. People like Matt Hardy and Orange
Christopher
Cassidy.
Daniels Christopher Daniels, you should be in the WWE Hall of Fame. I mean, I know he's not been in the WWE. I'm not sure if he ever has.
He was.
But the point is, as a wrestler who's renowned for being a good wrestler, he's Hall of Fame worthy, in my opinion. So for him not to be on AEW is insulting. The guy.
He's on AEW. He's
not on that show.
He's not allowed on Collision. Collision is a Saturday show.
That in itself is insulting, isn't it?
It's an insult. It's an insult.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, Christopher Daniels. I don't care what's going on. I would put him on my show regardless.
He's tied to the elite, which is bollocks. He's a goddamn. What's his job? Is he a producer or a talent booker or something like that?
He's an agent.
He's got.
Oh, I thought he was still in the ring.
No. It's all backstage stuff now. He's practically retired from wrestling.
Still, he's earned it.
He had the best match in TNA history. He had the best triple threat match I think I ever seen.
Oh, absolutely.
That match against AJ and Joe, I still go back and watch.
If feud with those guys are legendary, and
yeah. So CM Punk's just, it's just, the guy's just such an insecure bitch. He really is. It's just like, I get it. Collision's good and it's highly rated and people are loving it and all of that. But you're saying you don't want drama and you're creating the drama. Yep. It's just, it's like, calm the fuck down, man. Calm down. Yep.
This is my playpen, and you're gonna play my way.
No, but I mean, I understand what he's trying to do. He's trying to create a level of quality to be on the show. Because the thing is, he's a prick, but the thing is, he's a prick who's trying to do the right thing for the wrestling business, which is
he's doing the right thing for himself.
Yeah, it's for himself.
For himself.
No, but you look at Collision. Collision's a good show because the quality's up there, and there's no stupid shit. I mean, I think maybe the second episode had a stupid shit on it, but the rest of it has been really good. Well, good to great.
It's gonna hit. It's gonna hit its peak pretty soon. It's inevitable.
Well, it's if he could sustain a certain amount of ratings for a Saturday show, good on him. But the point is don't be such an insecure little bitch. Okay, but people get worse as they get older. Nobody gets better. So if you started off young as a prick, you just become a bigger prick. It's very rare that people change. So, if he can back it up and create the best wrestling show on TV, fine. But you should be bringing in the dickheads as well to kind of steer them right and say to him, this is a fucking wrestling show. This is how you do it. Do you want to be respected? Come and join this. Or do you just want a bunch of dumb indie marks cheering you on because you've got your hands in your pocket and you're flipping around like a dickhead?
And here's how I see it. If Brett and Sean could fucking make it work, CM Punk and the Young Bucks could make it fucking work. But what do I know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I'm not fussed. Like, I'm pissed off the Elite got new contracts. They're not money. They don't need it. They could have gone to WWE, created a stir for 5 minutes. Then they would have eventually, the Attitude would have just got them kicked out.
Who's the Elite?
The Elite are Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, and Hangman Page.
Okay. Yeah.
And but they're all go. They're not a draw. You know what I mean? They're not a draw, so I don't see the fucking point.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's it for film and TV. Unless anyone else has anything to talk about.
Yeah, I don't think so.
All right. Well, I'm going into politics, so if anyone wants to jump off,
I'll see y'all later then. If that's what y'all are going to be talking about.
Yeah, Jose, thank you for coming and talking games and other stuff with us.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, take care. We'll see you hopefully again next week.
Yep.
I'll probably pass too, just because you know me in politics. I mean,
all right, dude.
I'll keep watching. So if you guys jump in and I'm able to jump back on, I will. But
all right, otherwise, I'm out.
Ask anyone in the chat, in our contributors chat, if they want to join us, like Dixie or whatever.
Yeah, anyone that wants to. Yeah. All right, guys.
Okay. All right, guys.
Josh, even
kicking you off in 3, 2, 1. Bye, bitch. And Jason's he's just in the queue. That's fine. All right. So okay, so we're going to quickly talk about football. But it's not football. It's just something that involves a footballer and shocking shit that's going on there. Gads, if you want to take the floor with Mason Greenwood.
All right, so Mason Greenwood got basically I think it's about a year, maybe 2 years ago, got exposed for basically his ex-girlfriend or his ex-partner, or I think it might be his current partner, posted a picture of himself on Insta with all bruises on the face, and then released a audio clip of him basically
Yeah, I remember.
trying to corral her into sex, basically, after he was beating her up. Now, I'm all for giving people second chances, I really am. But there's got to be a line, and that line for me is unfortunately this. Because this is scumbag behaviour of the worst kind. This can't be just be gone to, it was a mistake. A mistake is hanging around with bad people and you maybe beat people up, or you say stuff that's racist or sexist because you're on the wrong sort of gangs. That's wrong behaviour. That's stupid behaviour. This is not stupid behaviour. This is a guy who was violent towards somebody he's supposed to love, and he's trying to threaten her to have sex with him. I mean,
it's just complete domestic abuse. There's no other word for it. It's domestic abuse, and what makes it worse is that her father basically coerced her to stay in the relationship and have a kid, so then that way they guaranteed, fucking money, paychecks, and all of that. So this poor woman is basically fucked either way, because even her own father, so there's no real support network for her. So she's going to do what a victim does, sadly, and just, get coaxed back into an abusive relationship. I hope, for his sake, if I was her, I'd be like, listen, any time you step out of line, I'm just going to fucking record it and publish it and all this kind of shit. But sadly, the Man United are going to take him back. They're going to put him back on the thing. And just because the case is dropped doesn't mean he's not guilty. Okay? And I get sick of this fucking shit, because he is guilty. I mean, there's actual evidence. She just dropped the case because she went back to that abusive relationship, which is often, sadly, the case. And I'm not here to shit on her at all. It's one of those things that happens. Of course, there can be some personal responsibility to walk away. But when you're being coerced by your own father as well to stick it out, and then she's knocked out a kid with him as well, this ain't the last we've heard of this. And the British justice system just doesn't do enough to protect women or children in this country. It doesn't. And for me, it would have been, yes, okay, the charges have been dropped, but because you are a public figure, and because of the evidence of the accusation, you should not be allowed to be in a position of a role model. Mm-hmm. So his footballing career should have been killed off. If he wants to go behind the scenes and be a trainer and all of that, fine. But he should not be allowed in the public figure, personally speaking. Does anyone else want to take the floor with this?
He pretty much said everything I wanted to say. One of the things that really upset me about the story was the fact that the father didn't really want his daughter to leave this abusive relationship, because this guy was a meal ticket, and he wanted his daughter to stay with her because the money that can be made from someone like Mason Greenwood. And that for me was one of the worst things of this. And in a way, she's kind of staying with him now for the sake that they both got a kid together, and also like maybe the lifestyle that she's been living is because of Mason Greenwood. The guy is obviously making decent money. He's making tens of thousands of pounds a week. Why would she want to fucking leave that? For fucking council estate Johnny, who's not going to fuck her off or anything other than maybe a fucking a Henry. It's a shame in the way. It's a vicious circle to a degree, but I don't know, like none of this surprises me either, like Man United taking him back.
But it does that because
we televised that here as well, mate.
Yeah, I mean it does for me, because as you know, I'm a United fan. It's just really disappointing because Right, there's loads of like women who watch United, not only the men but the women as well. Like, and what message did they get from this? That it's okay to beat up your girlfriend and threaten to rape and basically molest her to sex. You know, that's good.
We live in a different world now. There was a time when apartheid South Africa was not allowed in anything. If apartheid South Africa was around today, they'll be allowed in everything, because that's the sort of world we live in. That's why Saudi Arabia is able to have so many things, you know, like host wrestling matches. You know, they've got a football league now. They're allowed to buy football clubs here in the UK. You know, because there is no barrier anymore when it comes to capitalism and business. You know, money is the priority, and everything else, you know, including morality. You know, doesn't even take second. Morality doesn't even fucking take second place, for fuck's sake. You know what I mean? God knows where it is on the list.
There is no morality in this fucking world. Money talks, morality walks.
All right,
you know.
I'm gonna say for myself, if he plays 1 minute for United, I ain't watching him again, and I'm dead serious about
Good.
that.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
No, that's how it fucking should be. You know, because fuck that guy, and I hope he gets booed, and I hope his career tanks. Because fuck people like him, fuck people like Ryan Giggs, you know, all these kind of cunts. Fuck people like Mendy, you know, who they just get away with it. The courts don't do enough to kind of go after. They allow the witnesses to get badgered and abused, and then eventually paid off and silenced. And I'm like, no, you know what? You shouldn't. When there's issues like this and the evidence is there, nobody should be allowed to drop the case. It would be like, no, sorry, it's now a police matter, and only the police gets to decide whether the case gets dropped. And they should be run through the fucking mud and given the appropriate sentencing. But time and time again, people just get away with it. I remember
we've also got to see it from her side, which is that she's going to get pushed through. And I mean, she's not had the sort of media training that Mason Greenwood's had. She's going to, her and her family are going to probably be pushed through the ringer. So she's probably having.
There'll be yesterday's news, dude.
The good thing with her is the good thing with her is she didn't try to milk this. Like, you haven't seen article after article, because sometimes when things like this happen, the victim will try to milk it for everything and get all the publicity there. Well, fair enough if they want to do that, but she hasn't. You know, the only time you heard it is when the first incident happened, and now kind of thing. And it's like, okay, but the issue of morality is he should not be allowed to put on a United shirt. Just let his contract run down. Stick him on the bench, because they can't cut him if no charges have been filed. They can't cut him because he can sue and he'll get his money. So you just let his contract run out and just let him fuck off. And some other immoral bastard he can fuck off to Saudi Arabia, where that kind of thing is condoned. You know. But it's just like, I want people to understand. Vance, I want you to understand this as well, because you live in the States, and sometimes people talk about the United States being very draconian with its laws, but in a lot of instances, I think the United States does a great fucking job, especially when it comes to pedophilia. All right. Here we had a comedian that just got busted with 35,000 indecent images of child abuse on his fucking computer. All right. And I forget the guy's name. I don't know him that well, but it's not him that's relevant. The relevant part is he's not going to face any charges for it. 35,000 pictures of it, not on a register, not nothing. Just gets to walk away and carry on his life as normal. In America, there's a teacher that's possibly facing 30 years for taking inappropriate pictures and video of his own female students. And I think that's fucking beautiful. 30 years for taking inappropriate videos, upskirt shots and all this kind of shit of your students. And I think that's great sentencing. That sends a fucking clear message to say, don't cross the fucking line. But here in the UK, you can do whatever you want. You fucking get away with it. You know, only on rare cases do you get things like, that's the lead singer from The Lost Prophets get a life sentence, or Gary Glitter and he was allowed to go out on parole as well. But he violated parole and got sent back in.
Okay.
when it comes to average people, though, I think they do face they do face justice. But when it comes
No, no,
to
they
rich and
don't.
powerful
No,
people,
no, they
no,
don't.
no,
No,
no, no,
but
I'm
they
talking
don't
about
get enough.
America. I'm talking about America.
Oh, sorry.
Um, yeah, because you
My
mentioned about that
apologies.
teacher being an average person. Yeah, he's just a teacher. Took some kiddie fiddler shots, and now unfortunately for him, he's now receiving the full length of the law. But there are people who are very powerful in America who don't
Gates.
face justice. Who don't? Yeah, Matt Gates, for instance, even Donald Trump. I mean, there's a lot.
Donald Trump.
There are several. There's several stories of him committing allegedly committing pedophilic doing
Right, but
pedophilic things, and he will never face retribution for that shit ever.
Yeah.
You know,
what gets me is like why people do it in the first place. Because like for me, I mean, maybe I see sex in the way that different people. But isn't sex supposed to be enjoyment of two people enjoying themselves mutually? It's not just about you getting
That's
off.
irrelevant. That's irrelevant to the conversation. What else do you want to talk about?
Yeah.
No,
We don't
no,
need to
no,
get philosophical.
no. But my point is like how does there need to be like legal reform for this stuff? Like the stuff you were just saying before, Paddy, about the fact that once it goes to the police, that once the police have it in their system, the person can't just say, "Oh, I'm dropping it now." It needs to,
Yeah, you shouldn't
drop.
be allowed. You should not be allowed to drop the charges. They'll be like, look, I'm sorry, there's enough evidence here. We're going to proceed to the full extent of the law. So your decision is irrelevant because we find that this person is a danger now to future partners, to you, and all this kind of shit. And so it should become a police should take it over. ATLD, and that's it. But we don't do anything like that here. Forget it, mate. You got more chance of getting justice if you're raped in a Muslim country. That's a lie. But than you would in this fucking country.
Mate, if you get
That's a
raped in a
lie.
Muslim country, the
You
person
get
getting
done.
raped, the person getting
Yeah.
raped is getting done. It has happened in places like Dubai where a woman was sexually assaulted and then she went to fucking jail for it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it's just
So
it's ridiculous. Yeah, obviously. But all I'm saying is, in this country here, we're just not better. Like we had one lord who was holding off a bill on upskirting. Like he was saying, no, we should be allowed to upskirt. He was just one fucking person was allowed to uphold the law of allowing people to take pictures of women's skirts. Eventually they bowed to pressure and they finally passed the fucking law where they made that illegal in this country. But you often see it. How many times you see, like in the Sun or the Star and all that, they just had blatant upskirt shots of women. And I'm not talking like the one where they get out of the car and you see it like a flash of knickers. I'm literally talking, and you've seen video footage of them sticking the camera under the skirt and taking a picture. Like that's the kind of shit we deal with in this country.
Yeah, I mean, like I know that you guys don't watch American sports, but there's actually been something that actually has kind of mirroring what you guys have been talking about. Now, baseball. There's been a guy in baseball who's been who's been caught basically. Well, this is what she's alleging, that she was 14 when he started dating her, and he's what 20, 19, 20. And she's in the Dominican Republic, and this guy is getting everything thrown at him. Like people are saying that if it gets turned out to true, they have like a morale clause in the contracts in the baseball thing, so they can just release him with no money. The fact that they think his career is going to be over, and this is the sort of thing we should have in our contracts, but we don't for some reason. But this is America; they have these contracts, and I think NFL players. I'm not too sure.
Love it. Yeah.
Regarding Epstein, regarding we mentioned Epstein Island. I mean, there's a whole bunch of people that will never face justice for what they did on that island, and that's because they're rich and powerful. And the funny thing is, we still see these people today in our media and stuff like that, and they get a lot of respect. It pisses me off that someone like Donald Trump is so respected by so many of his voters who condemn Epstein for so many things, yet they will turn a total blind eye for Trump when it comes to him and his association with fucking Epstein. I'll never understand that. I just don't get it.
Yeah, it's
You know what I
tribalism,
mean?
isn't it? No matter like their side is right, no matter what. It's fucking ridiculous. I had to double check the age of consent in Dominican Republic because some places they're all over the place, but it's 18 years old. So if he's fucking shacking up with a 14-year-old, I hope he gets a fucking book thrown at him and kicked out. And whatever else happens. Over here, we don't have anything like that. Over here, you can just do whatever you fucking want. And
That Tom Binns guy that you were just talking about with the 30,000, he says he's going to be spared jail. What?
Yeah, that's what I said. Nothing. No charges. No jail. No nothing. Nothing at all for having those images on there. So it just like I fucking hate the British.
Prince Andrew is a prime example as well. I mean, this guy above the law, and he will never face justice for what he's done. And regardless of being ousted from the royal family, he shouldn't be ousted from the family. Even though I'm glad that he is, he should be behind bars. That's what he should be facing, the repercussions of his actions. I saw that documentary on Epstein on Netflix. The girl blatantly said what Andrew did to her, and he's facing nothing.
Nothing.
Not a damn fucking thing. He's above the law.
Yeah, and they used our fucking 12 million of our money to protect him as well. It's just the system.
And the audacity to show up at the funeral and stuff like that. Like, people are looking at you right now, you fucking nonce, and they look at you and they realize you're a nonce. Every time people look at you, they'll see a nonce. You know what I mean? His interview on ITV, like the guy didn't have a fucking leg to stand on.
Nothing.
You know what I mean?
That's nothing.
He absolutely got annihilated.
Yeah.
And it annoys me that the press are so focused on Harry and Meghan when Prince Andrew is a fucking pedophile. Like, who gives a shit about Harry and Meghan? They're just soap opera.
Yeah.
We have a guy who fifth or sixth in line to the throne, and he's a fucking pedo. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, that should be the story.
Yeah, that should be the story, but no, they just buried it. They're not allowed to question power in this country at all. It's just fucking bullshit. All right, speaking of dickheads as well, we have Graham Linehan. This one's just a funny one. So he had booked a venue at the Fringe. It's the Edinburgh Fringe Festival is going on at the moment, as it does every August. And that's where a bunch of, again, for those that don't know, it's where, if you're a comedian, that's the place you need to go to kind of boost your profile, book a place, and, showcase your goods, basically. And Graham Linehan, legendary writer who's written three of my all-time favorite sitcoms, among my all-time favorite sitcoms, which would be Father Ted, Black Books, IT Crowds. He basically became King Turf. So we've got Queen Turf Bitch, which is J.K. Rowling, and we have King Turf, which is Graham Linehan here in the UK, even though technically he's Irish, so can it be counted as that? But he got so obsessed with it, so bad with it, like his own wife and children left him and they won't fucking speak to him. And of course, he got banned on Twitter and Elon Musk reinstated him and all this kind of shit. So he's gone down the turf rabbit hole. He's gone down the rabbit hole of the far right and all this kind of shit. He booked some shows to do at Edinburgh Fringe Festival, and two venues cancelled on him. So we don't want your shit here. And of course, he's playing the victim, talking about free speech and all this kind of shit. So
cancel culture.
Yeah, he just did it outside the venues. He stood up on a chair and started talking to an audience of 5-10 people. Whatever, and started crying like a bitch. Fuck that guy. Gads.
Yeah, I mean, because he's got GB News and all these programs saying, it's activists, pressuring these places. Like, no, these places cancelled on you because they don't want their business to be affected by having you in it. Because there's people who are LGBTQ who feel threatened by your presence, because you're literally saying to them that if you got your way, you literally would have their lives. That's the problem that he doesn't seem to grasp.
Yeah, exactly. He's completely like he's just obsessed to the point where I think that he just feels guilty that he fancies trans women, and this is just projection on his part, or something happened.
Blatantly.
Something happened that has just caused this. Maybe he got caught cheating with a trans woman, and that's why his wife actually left him. You know, you don't become obsessed to this point unless three factors. Number one is you murmur something about it, and then because there's pushback, you double down because your ego is so unbelievably fragile and you're stubborn. Number two, you feel guilty for finding them attractive. Or number three, you got done over by somebody who's trans, and now you're just they're all persona non grata for you.
Yeah.
And so because it is ridiculous. But I if I had to hedge my bets, I would say it's along the J.K. Rowling era of just so egotistical that you have to double down, and you end up siding with the far right on this. And it's just, that's when you know it's egotistical, when you start siding with people that, in other words, would look at your comedy and just be like, oh, well shit, yeah. So go on, guys.
I'd say like the be all like going woke. I mean, because you look at like Father Ted and the IT crowd, they're making fun of like Scientology, and they're making fun of creationism, and like a lot of
exactly.
It's like on this is the hill he wants to die on. He's like going, and he keeps it going. And the worst one is like he keeps it going. Well, that several trans people, agree with me. What people who know their place? That's who you're talking about. People like Debbie Hayton and the Miranda, what's her face? Who both, I could tell, who don't understand that if they actually got these people that they agree with got what they wanted, they wouldn't be able to exist anymore.
No, they wouldn't.
And this is what Debbie Hayton people like that don't understand. Yeah, it's nice to agree with people and be accepted, but the thing is, the reason they're accepting you is because you're useful for them.
Yeah, that's it. You're the useful idiot for them. It's like black conservatives. You're just the useful idiot for them because they can say, "Hey, we're not racist. Look, we've got our token here," kind of thing. And it's just like, it just. But people are just fucking weirdos. They kind of love. They get off on being on the side of what's bad for them because they just get off on it. And they love being dominated, and the authority that hangs over them and all this kind of shit. So that's why you get these fucking idiots there, or they're grifters. It's one or the other. Because you'll get some women, for example, like what was that famous woman who's like the female Andrew Tate, who's blatantly Pearl. Yes, she's blatantly grifting, and that she's got called out on it, and they've proven time and time again that she's just a grifter.
She'll never live the life that she tells women to live. I mean, yeah,
exactly. Yeah, and that's why it's easy to prove she's a grifter.
Posey Parker's a grifter.
Posey Parker's a grifter.
Candace Owens is a grifter.
She's a grifter. Yeah, of course. They're all grifters. All of it. You know what I mean? And if you're not a grifter, it just means you love being cucked by authority figures.
Lauren Southern as well. But all of these people always going on about, the family and this. Some of these fuckers are not even married, have no kids and shit like that. So they seem to, stand on this pedestal and preach to everyone how to live, but they are not living the very life that they tell how women should be living. And that
none of them do. Yeah, conservatives are the fucking biggest hypocrites on the planet. They all fucking
and then they what's the word harm about how it affects women. They don't give a fuck about women. If they did, they'd be like, you're pushing for laws which protect women in domestic relationships.
Exactly. What were we just talking about?
I'm pushing for more stricter flaming anonymous laws in regards to reporting of rapes. But again, they don't do that shit either. Nope. Sorry, it pisses me off. Sorry.
So, but again, guys, what were we talking about earlier? Like the whole Mason Greenwood thing, the Mendy, the fucking Ryan Giggs, all this kind of shit. And women could just get raped and nothing happens to them. And where are all these fucking turf bitches that are complaining about trans women stealing womanhood from them? And I'm like, excuse me, are you not fucking paying attention to what's going on in the world of football? in the world of actual domestic violence and in the world of things like that. Are you not fucking paying attention? Because you obviously not. What you are is you just grifting. You don't legitimately care about women. You just want to fucking get your voice heard one way or another. If you genuinely cared, I mean, the amount of like these turf groups have been enough to pressurize the Tories into changing fucking identity laws and all this kind of shit in this country and attacking trans
laws
women.
of legislature and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. Imagine that power to actually push for tougher sentencing on pedophiles, on fucking rapists, sexual
violence.
assault, domestic violence, and all this kind of shit. Like they don't use that power and that pressure group because they don't fucking care. They don't care. They just want to be hateful, vindictive, spiteful, bigoted pieces of shit that will turn on their own kind given the chance. And they always turn on their own fucking kind.
Look at the groups they may be associated with. A lot of these groups are anti-women. Like a lot of them are pro-life. A lot of them are flaming anti-women's liberty. And if they had their way, they'd be back in the kitchens again.
Exactly.
And you'd be allowed to hit them again, and you'd be allowed to rape them in marriages again. Now,
Exactly.
Yeah, that's very pro-women, isn't it?
Yeah, no, you're right. And if they had it their way, they wouldn't be allowed to vote and all this kind of shit. That's the group that they're siding with. That's who they're siding with, just so they don't get proven wrong about the bullshit that they spout. You have no morals, you have no principles, you just want to be right, and you want your echo chamber all the time to confirm your own biases, and that's not how you grow as a fucking human being. I've said it time and time again. I've moved from center right to fucking left wing because I've listened to the right people, listened to the not just that, did your own research, look at the evidence yourself, been affected by policies as well when my health went and all this kind of shit. And then you read the history of like the countries that did have socialist policies and then the Americans just came and fucking robbed them of their freedom. You're like, okay, if for them to be adamant that they don't want this, it must be a good thing and all this kind of shit. And you read of what happened, how they built the UK after the war and all this kind of shit. And the logical conclusion is you go left. If you don't want to be that, it just means you're selfish, self-centered, and you only care about yourself, and you don't want your money going towards building a better society. That's fair enough.
Yeah,
just don't complain when it all crumbles.
You rather see people get fucked over than improve your own life.
Exactly. You'd rather see other people suffer just because of your own selfish sensibilities. And I always say to people, you know what? That's absolutely fine. You have no right to complain, though. You have no right to complain about the system that you vote for. Okay? We complain, all right, because this is not the system that we voted for. We voted for a better system. But you lot who voted for the system, shut the fuck up. I often say it to a lot of my friends and my own brother as well. I said, what are you complaining about? This is the system you wanted. You didn't want Corbyn, who could have improved the lives of everyone. You were just crying because you were going to pay an extra £20 on your taxes every month. Congratulations. Well done. Thanks for participating in society's downfall. So yeah, fuck that crowd of dickheads. And speaking of which, Stephen Crowder, hasn't he got like a what was it he was promoting? Gaz?
It was a competition to people for women to date him.
That was it. Yeah, he's gotten so desperate now that he's had to create a competition just to get women to date him. And I hope whoever does is just a dirty little gold digger and fucking milks him for every penny that he's got.
That's not what I want. No, I want the skankiest flaming, flaming VD-ridden flaming hub to flaming ride his cock and flaming give him like so when he smacks people with it.
I'll take that. I mean, he's banging dudes behind the scenes anyway.
No, I want like a proper Stepford wife who will be so boring to him that he'll end up doing what you would usually be doing, which is to find men to fuck him up the arse, which is what I've allegedly heard that he does do. And him and maybe someone in the paparazzi can finally catch a picture of him with his pants down.
Oh, that would be
cock
lovely.
Up his ass.
Yeah, that would be lovely. I mean, the guy is, he's 100% closeted. There's no fucking questions there about that. So getting him caught in the act will be lovely. I mean, his career's done now. He's dead and buried. He's banned on YouTube, I believe. Nobody's watching him on Rumble, so his career is effectively over. He shot himself in the foot by scoffing at the Daily Wire deal, and
50 million for 4 years.
yeah, 50 million for 4 years.
I'll fucking take that right now.
I'll take
Yeah,
that. I
I'll
don't
take that,
care.
I'll take that.
I'll just be the the woke for 4 years, get my money, go back into that. Was lovely, Chris. Thank you very much. Here's what I learned about the Daily Wire, and give out all the fucking secrets. Because I'll make sure that 50 million did not include an NDA. You know what? I'll take a couple of million less if it means not signing an NDA. But yeah, I don't give a shit. I'd go there for 4 years, then come out and just shit on everything. And
12.5 million a year, man.
Yeah,
You know
it's
what I mean?
mental.
Jesus Christ.
Just ridiculous. And he pissed on that. It created a whole bunch of drama. And I'm hoping he gets a bunch of lawsuits now from his colleagues as well. And from Daily One, they just bankrupt him. I hope his wife takes him to the cleaners. And he's just, turning tricks in the corner of LA or wherever he is, Texas.
£1 million a month, £250,000 a week, just over. Like, Jesus Christ, what was he thinking? Not taking that money, man.
Just a
You know what I mean?
Because he's an egotist, and he thought that
Yeah.
he'd have to conform to what the Daily Wire wanted him to do. Instead of going, £50 a month, I'll eat some London pie for that for your money. Because that's going to set him up for life. And
Yeah, I
now-
mean, he didn't even have to change much of what he was talking about. It might have had to tweak a few things here and there, maybe not wear a gun holster or whatever, but, there's not much else he would have been cut from doing.
apart from slapping his dick in people's faces.
Yeah, he would have had to follow
Yeah.
corporate policies, which you can't slap your dick around people's faces or get them to tap your nuts.
Is he going to
or
get done
whatever.
for that? Because that's sexual assault. I mean, any
depends.
repercussions?
It
This is
depends
what
on-
we mentioned about earlier regarding the elite not getting repercussions. I mean, this
Yeah.
guy's putting his nutsack on people's shoulders without fucking telling them.
Well,
Getting a kick out of
being
it.
sued? Isn't he being sued for that? Is somebody, or they just come out and talk about it? I
I
can't
don't
remember.
know, but
I can't remember, but it depends. If there's enough evidence and he gets sued, then. But I don't know if he's being sued because with Riot Games, that's effectively what was going on with the Riot Games. They were doing the same fucking thing, and they had to pay out money, and they had to they fucking they've toed the line now, and all this kind of shit. But I don't know if it's going to happen with Crowder. But yeah, there you go. Go date that loser if you want to. Zam, Chinese space lasers.
yeah, I want to like this. Like, look, what happened
Just going
in
for a wee,
Hawaii?
I'll be right back. Sorry.
What happened in Hawaii was absolutely terrible, and is one of the many reasons why we constantly have this climate change debate, because we're seeing catastrophes like this happen on a regular basis, so often in this world, especially in the Western Hemisphere, where we're seeing wildfires happening. I mean, it's happening all over across America as we speak. There's like parts of this land that's on fire at this moment, and Hawaii, unfortunately, was no different. And Hawaii itself, people forget, Hawaii is not one piece of land; it's 9 fucking islands. I just want to share this image, by the way, just to show you what Hawaii is. This is Hawaii. Yeah, it's not one piece of land. Hawaii is 9 islands. There's a little tiny island there where my cursor is. That's 1. This is 2. This is 3. This is the main island, 4. Even though it's not the biggest, that's Honolulu. 5, 6, 7, 8, and this big chunk of land here. The island of Hawaii, number 9. And like some of the conspiracy theories regarding the fires, it's ridiculous. Like, people were saying, because Obama, he was born in Hawaii, and then he's got a home in Hawaii. They were saying that Obama's home wasn't burnt down whilst everybody else was. That's because Obama's fucking home was on a different goddamn island to where everyone else was receiving the fires. That's why his island wasn't. That's why his home wasn't fucking burnt. But unfortunately, the conspiracy now amongst the right wing has spread. Pardon my French, has spread like wildfire. So they just they believe, they believe that his home wasn't burnt for a reason because he was because he was let off the hook because he's involved in this Chinese space laser shit, which is what a lot of the right wing are going down the route of now, because they don't want to talk about climate change. They want to go down conspiracy theories, and this is the conspiracy theory they want to deal with right now when it comes to this major issue that's affecting the whole fucking planet, the planet they live on. You know what I mean? They share with us, which is going to affect them. They don't want to talk about that because then they would have to concede that this entire time they were wrong. So what they're going to do, they're going to talk about fucking Chinese space lasers burning Hawaii, for fuck's sake, burning parts of Hawaii. It's ridiculous. I'm sharing a planet with these fucking idiots, and they are stoking the fires of this conspiracy, putting it into people's minds to believe this bullshit. No, we are suffering from climate change. That's why these fires are fucking happening. Not just here, but in parts of California and in northern parts of Canada as well. They're all on fire. Because we're not taking climate change seriously. The world's getting hotter in certain parts of the world. You got 55 degrees Celsius in Death Valley and shit. Your shoes are going to be melting the moment you touch the tarmac.
Every like for a consecutive period of time this year, we broke record day after day for the hottest day of the year.
Did we have like the hottest week of the year? The hottest week on record? I think it was like July.
Back in July. We it's not here in the UK, but parts of the world, like America in particular, hit records for a whole week. Every day was, and this Honolulu thing and Maui thing is not new. Okay, back in 2019, the indigenous people were sued the oil companies for all the changes that they were making to the islands and the destruction that they caused, and not just in the agricultural sector as well, which was putting in grass that wasn't susceptible to changes in temperature and all this, and just dries out rather than retain moisture, which helped kind of fuel the fires. So the indigenous people have been complaining about this for years. This is nothing new, but what happens is they warn you about it years ago, and then eventually this is what happens. So this is exactly what the people were talking about. They're saying, hey, all of these factors, climate change, plus agricultural grasses that you're putting in here, and the plantation that you're putting in here, and the crops you're putting in here, which aren't really meant for this kind of environment, and the oil drilling and all this kind of shit that they're doing offshore, which is obviously contributing to the climate change and all this, is a disaster waiting to happen. And lo and behold, this is exactly what happened. Big fucking fire, unlike anything they've seen in their lifetime, has just swept across the island, causing mass devastation. And time again, we allow the right to sit there and fucking fudge the waters, even though I've been showing them, like, the little not memes, pictures from 1913 where people were talking about coal and the devastation it's causing to the environment from over 100 years ago, and snippets of Shell knowing, and Exxon knowing in the 70s that they were causing huge environmental damage, and that they knew about it. Of course they'd know about it. And that is why you have conspiracy theories and denialism flooding the gates. There's a reason for denialism. Okay, you don't just come in denying something if somebody's not bankrolling it. It makes no logical sense for you to deny what's evident in front of you. So they knew about this. And that's why in the 80s, you had the huge kind of, like, even Ted Turner got on board with it, like the huge kind of, climate change thing, the ozone layer and all this kind of shit. There's a whole campaign about it. And then in the 90s, it all comes as like, no, there's a danger of our profits just getting fucked if we keep going down this route of trying to make positive changes. And that's when they upped the climate change denialism, really took off in the 90s. And this is where we are now. But it's not really working. Like, people can see that things are fucked. They get it. So despite the small echo chambers you hear here and there, they get it. But when a handful of people have all the power, you're not going to see much change. Guys.
I want, sorry, one second, Gary. Just want to comment here. I could believe it if given more information on information. IDC, I don't care. I think you talk about regarding the Chinese space lasers as well. I'd believe the Chinese space lasers too if I had more information on it. But it isn't. It's just a conspiracy. Everyone who talks about it admits it's a conspiracy because they've got nothing else to go on. Because the truth is just it's not interesting enough. They'd rather go on conspiracies. That's why they talk about shit like this.
Yeah.
And Native Americans to control 5V as well.
Yeah,
lots of cultures. Lots of cultures do.
Culture does that. Yeah, every culture does it. Right. But the problem is when you're introducing agriculture that's not native to the land, and you're getting years of less rainfall and higher temperatures, then it's very difficult to control those fires. Especially when you've got like a kind of grass that burns a lot higher and quicker than the stuff you're kind of used to. So this is the issue. But yeah, like you say, even in Greece, we have controlled fires a lot of the time because it lessens the damage that can be done should a wildfire spread, but also it nourishes the ground. Wildfires but not at the fucking rate that we're seeing now. And the ferocity and the violence that we're seeing now, it's crazy. Because
things are getting dried out, which is making the fires last a lot longer and go a lot further than what they should be doing. It's ridiculous. We have to own up. I mean, some things shouldn't be about a political side by saying, okay, I'm right wing, I'm never going to believe in climate change. For fuck's sake, these ideologies really need to change. You need to see what's happening in front of your goddamn eyes.
Well, that's why the film Don't Look Up was perfect. It's the most perfect film ever made regarding the current political climate. Because for right wingers, it's not about being right. It's just about their side, whatever their side says is right. Okay, despite the evidence to the contrary. It's just purely on tribalism. There is no, and that just means you just have no morality. You have no scruples or principles. If you're just about my side is right. And then what happens is a lot of the times when you fucking sit there and explain to people face to face, got a goddamn fucking dragonfly, face to face about policies and all of that, and you break it down to them. You've seen it a lot of time on YouTube. They're actually like, oh yeah, because it's like, yeah, well, if you stop being a tribal prick, you'd understand that we're trying to do what's best for everyone, not be right, Gaz.
Well, what I was going to say is, to have a more positive note, I do think that one of the things that did happen because of people getting off the bipartisan sort of like trade and kind of coming together for it was, if you look at the reason that we had the whole Adobe zone layer, the reason was I think it was Freon, I believe, and then we stopped using it in fridges and other things.
CFC gas.
Yeah. So
aerosol cans.
Yeah. And people stopped using that, and they started having because of social pressures and stuff like that. And I think
the science improved as well, Gary. Like they improved the science regarding aerosol cans so that they wouldn't be so toxic to the environment.
Yeah. So I think that will be the same here. Is that people will maybe invest more into more renewable energies and stuff like that, because I think a lot of countries are doing that now. Like, for example, Nordic countries. I think we mentioned like I think India and Pakistan have like either 100% or getting close to that of renewable energies. I think like certain parts of like the Pacific Rim, like for example, Indonesia is going total renewable. So I think it's happening slowly but surely. But I think renewable energy
basically, and not any country that isn't the West, essentially, and has huge stakes in oil, is pushing for renewable green energy. Even China, believe it or not, China is the leader in pushing for green renewable sources. Despite what they'll tell you, their consumption of this and that, and they're like, yeah. They're 1.3 billion people. America still consumes more energy with 320 million people. But that's all that shit. They're working towards changing it. And they're upping their renewable intake because again, unlike fucking dumb, stubborn, right-wing white men, the rest of the world is taking climate change very seriously. They know this because of water stress in these countries. There's a lot of water stress, and water stress basically means there's just not enough fucking water. All right, there's low levels of water because of lack of rain. So again, that's why I'm always happy when the rest of the world just says, fuck America, fuck the UK. We are just carrying on and working. And nothing will give me greater joy than seeing this country and the United States just being left behind by the rest of the world to fucking rot in its neoliberal carcass of a piece of shit fucking countries that they are. Because the rest of the world wants to progress. That's why they're ditching the dollar. They're signing up to BRICS. And they just want to leave the old empires behind because they've never done anything good for anyone. And they just want to just fucking be able to trade in their own currency. And I pray that America doesn't fuck it up and they poke fire the wrong people. And like, look what Nigeria is a prime example. So here you're seeing in the news, oh, Russia helped fuel the coup in Nigeria. I'm like, no, the aspects of the Niger military forces bought weapons from Russia because the Americans wouldn't fucking sell it to them, and they created a coup that's very popular among its own people. Why? Because their own people are fed up of France and America. Okay, in this instance, just exploiting these countries and stealing their resources. All right, I couldn't boggle my mind when Francis the other day said that we should have stopped the Belt and Road Initiative. I'm like, what do you mean we? So we have a right to tell another country to not trade with China? Well, that doesn't make any sense. That would be like America telling us not to trade with fucking China or France. Like this kind of Western arrogance. This fucking.
Yeah.
Well, Francis is a flaming liberal cunt anyway.
Guys.
Sorry,
go on, guys. What?
I was going to say Francis is a liberal cunt anyway. So like, he doesn't understand because he doesn't understand social policy.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't understand anything. He's a fucking liberal blueprint of just thinking that we are entitled to everything. And oftentimes I just look at him and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Anyway, I'm not going to get into that. Like, his view on politics is just dumb. And that, but I'm just saying, like, that kind of arrogance. And the thing is, he's not unique in that. You get a lot of liberals, that's centrists, who feel the same way. They'll be like, no, they shouldn't be trading with China. We should have stopped it. I'm like, who are you? They're going in, they're taking resources from these countries, but they're building their infrastructure for them. What do? We go in there, we leave nothing. We don't give them anything. That's why these countries
are. We do live there's something. We live with like oppressive regimes. That's why we live them.
Yeah, we live them with oppressive regimes, exactly. And they've had enough. And they said, no, we'd rather deal with China and Russia, who don't interfere with our politics. They just want, they genuinely trade with us rather than just putting some lackey that allows American corporations or French corporations or British corporations to just come in and take everything. So they'd rather deal with the Chinese and all that, where they're just like, yeah, here's our stuff, build our roads for us. It's just fucking ridiculous.
Just got comments here. It said leaded gas as well, and America can walk into a country and tell them how to do stuff. Well, that's been America. Well, not do stuff, but they take that country and take their stuff. Whether it be Latin American countries, African countries, Asian countries. They do that. They've always done that, and I think people are pretty fed up with this American exceptionalism. American
expansionism. That's basically what it is.
Expansionism, neoliberal, neo-imperialism is what they call it. Where it's not you go in there and control it, you just put your puppets in there, and they've done it in practically every fucking country, and it needs to die out, and it will die out eventually. There's only so much they could do. But moving forward, they're going to need countries like Brazil, China, India, and Russia to kind of carry the can until those countries can get themselves to a point where they don't fucking need the IMF and fall into debt and all this kind of shit,
I just want to say that regarding, we really tangent in here. Going back to to how people on the right they don't want to listen to all this news about climate change and stuff like that. One of the things that you see right wingers do is actually create more issues to climate change. They're like purposely driving gas guzzlers and smoking shit out just to own the libs, which is fucking ridiculous.
It's like shooting yourself in the foot and to own the libs, that kind of thing.
And like a lot of the Republican Party in America, they want to go. They're against electric cars. They're against solar power and stuff like that. Like, what the fuck are you? Like, are you so desperate to go against the left in every capacity that this is how you do your policies now? It's ridiculous.
Well, the politicians are just mainly doing it because they're getting paid by the oil companies, or they have stakes in the oil companies. The ordinary people are just dumbasses that are just being like, this will show the libs.
Yeah,
but the oil company. No, but sorry, guys. The oil companies themselves, they should already be predicting, like preparing their future for a world without oil by investing in renewable energies and being prepared to switch to that in the future when eventually our oil resources run out. But that's inevitable.
They're going to do that at the last minute. They'll do that at the last minute, like they always fucking do. For now, they need, again, because everything works on exponential growth, which is unsustainable. That's why we're always in the shit, because everyone's expecting their fucking windfall and their money and their dividends and all this kind of shit. And you need growth. You constantly need growth. And to do that, you're just going to cut corners and shit on everyone, take away people's freedoms in order to ensure profits. And then when it's too late, but I always say to people now, and I don't care if this ever gets me in trouble, but I always say, like, if you want a real change, you've got to bully and harass the fucking people that are just holding up policies. And it's not really the politicians. The politicians will fall in line to whoever's going to save their seats. So if you go after the CEOs and you go after the fucking shareholders and all this kind of stuff, then you'll start to see change, because they'll be like, you know what, this just isn't fucking worth it. It's just a bad investment for me because my life is in danger, or I'm just constantly. It's the same what happened with the Palestine Action, a fucking amazing group. They basically raided the Israeli arm factories that were here in the UK. They raided them. They destroyed them. They shut them down and all this. In the end, the Israeli arm factory were like, oh, well, okay, fuck this. We can't do this here, so we're moving abroad. And it's like, perfect. No blood on our hands now here in the UK, thanks to Palestine Action for shutting down those fucking factories. And I think that's what you need to do. You just need to make it to a point where... But to counter the argument as well, the car companies aren't actually pushing for electric vehicles. Despite Ford selling their trucks and all this kind of shit, they're pushing to build for it, because the car companies can see that that's where the money is in the future, because that's what more and more people are going to want. So they're doing that. It's what the oil companies are doing that's kind of holding everything else back. But like I said, a lot of other countries that aren't really invested in oil, they're pushing towards renewable sources. But it's just whether it's going to be too late or not. That's the issue.
I've always said there's so much desert in this world. If every ounce of that desert was covered in solar panel, oh my god, the amount of power we could generate, from these useless bits of land and make them useful would be amazing. Like it would turn the world around. Australia,
Algeria,
Sahara, South America,
Algeria makes bank selling electricity to Europe because of all the solar panels they have out in their desert. And all this kind of shit, and it's
Oh, really? I never no idea about that.
Oh, yeah. The UK wanted to do a deal as well with Algeria, so it could be 100% renewable electricity, all just coming from Algeria. Yeah, they've done amazing progress. Them, I think Morocco.
Oh my god! I'm just looking at some of the pictures now. They've got solar power everywhere.
Everywhere, mate. Everywhere. See, they never tell you about this. It's all about white supremacy. They never fucking tell you about what other countries are doing to kind of fight this situation. And they're leaving the West behind. They are.
Yeah, and the thing is that, like, for example, this country, we could do a lot of, like, for example, wind power. wind power works in Scotland and works, and it actually produces more energy than we need. But we don't really use that because the utility companies here are still are owning our
Too much
business.
control. Yeah, of course.
I mean,
too much control.
like for example, a lot of people in this country want us to go back to them being in public ownership, but that will never happen.
It's not going to happen ever until they start collapsing. But
They're trying to buy as well. I heard that thing called the Wall, which they're building in Saudi Arabia.
That's Saudi Arabia, yeah.
It's going to be all solar panels as well.
Yeah, a lot of like Dubai's energy consumption is from their solar panels as well. They derive a lot of it, from renewable energy. Like I said, there are so many countries that just get their energy.
Can you see that?
Oh, there's Zam as well. He uses solar
That's
panels.
my solar power. On the right is the grid. The 0.01 power is coming from the grid. You can't really see because of the light, but I have 56% power in my battery that's been charged up today. That's the majority of the power is coming from that. So nothing's coming. We're pretty much off the grid, and come tomorrow we charge it again.
Yeah, and that's a nightmare.
That's
the nightmare that the energy companies don't want. That's what they don't want. They don't want people off the grid. Like, I always laugh, like in the States where they were banging on about freedom. I'm like, oh, freedom, really? What about that small town that tried to create its own broadband, and the big companies came in and got the law to shut that down because they were going to miss out, even though they couldn't get any coverage in that fucking area. What about where they made it illegal? I can't remember what state it was, to collect rainwater.
Yeah.
They're
making it illegal to feed the homeless. They like under George W. Bush, they made online poker illegal all over the country, but it was affecting places like Vegas.
But all that's coming in now. Like, sports gambling is huge in America now. Hang on, let's just go here. I've always wanted someone to build a factory based around Lake Maracaibo, Venezuela, which gets 280 lightning strikes per hour and has been used as a maritime marker for centuries. Oh my God! Well, there you go. Just stick an energy company there, just power the whole fucking world if it gets 280 lightning strikes per hour. That's mental. I'm gonna Google that.
Yeah, a lightning strike. I can't fathom how much power can be generated from that. But if you can harvest that somehow, amazing.
Yeah,
natural electricity from the sky.
Yeah, look at that. Look at all that. Beautiful. Yeah, mate. It's all there. Like, it's just
1%.
It's just overthrowing the current political system we have. And heads need to roll.
What percent of power do you get versus the size of a solar panel? Well, as somebody I got 10 solar panels on my roof, and I have an electric car, and all the power from the solar we have a 10 kilowatt battery that accumulates all that power. So if the power is 100%, all of that will go into my car when I charge my car, which I will do a little bit later on. But right now the sun's down, the battery's at 56%, and all the power that's running right now, the lights on my ceiling, the spotlight on my face, my TV, my computer, all the power that's running this shit is coming from the solar power battery. The battery, which is accumulated power that's in my loft. Nothing's coming from the grid.
I was going to say, so are you more or less off? Are you off grid now?
No. I still need the grid because I have an electric car, and it doesn't shine. The sun doesn't shine all the time. But even when it's cloudy, we still accumulate solar power, which is really cool during the day. So just not as much. But I'm already in credit by £1,200 in credit with my electricity provider, which will come in very handy in the winter. And on top of that, the cheap electricity, which is between midnight and 5 a.m., I can use that cheap electricity to charge the solar battery at night. So we can then use that cheap electricity during the day when the electricity is more expensive. It's awesome.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely.
And
With the power
we
you can
do
get
in the winter.
100%. Yeah, absolutely. Lovely jubbly.
Yeah.
All right.
It's the best investment I've ever made. I'll recommend that if people could afford it or they can get grants or whatever, get solar power. Just figure out a way of getting it because it will improve the property of your house. It'll make your property go up, and in the long run, you'll be saving a fuckload of money.
There you go. Cool. All right. On that note, does anyone else have anything else to talk about? If not,
yes, actually, I do. Just just for to everybody that there is a we do debate bigger, so that's coming out. I think it's 28th, I believe. I think it's going to be, so that's coming out in the next couple of weeks at least. So please keep your eyes out for that. We're doing some fan films, so please go and like and subscribe. Please go and follow the people that we like, because we recently had interactions with Buckeye Studios, who have done a couple of films. We've done, I think, about 3, I think. So they did the Punisher one, the Iron Fist Luke Cage one, and I think they did a Daredevil one, I believe.
Yeah.
Please. Yeah, people should go on our channel and check out the fucking Kingpin one. That is awesome.
I don't think
it's
that's
really awesome.
No,
it's on our channel now.
Is it?
Oh,
when did that come out? I don't think that's been released, has it?
Yes, I don't think.
Let me just double check.
The last one that I have is the Star Wars one, where they get.
That was good. That Star Wars one.
It was a good one.
Short and sweet.
I'm just checking right now. 1 second. Come on, load.
Yes, so hopefully we'll get Buckeye Studios to come on.
Coming out on the 22nd of August. Check it out when it comes out.
Yeah, watch that instead of a soccer, because nobody gives a fuck about soccer.
Hopefully Buckeye Studios will come on with us and do like a Q&A session, because we want to do that with them, because we do think that they do have talent, because that Daredevil one, all of you said it is really good. So
it was awesome. Fucking loved it. Yeah, cool. All right. Okay, guys. Well, I just want to thank my co-hosts for joining me, all 5 of you, and sticking out, for Zam and Gaz sticking to the end, and to everyone in our comment section that participated. We always appreciate your comments. We may never always agree, but we still appreciate every comment we get. And on that note, check out the rest of our stuff, subscribe to our channel, and we will see you when we see you.